hockey, basketball, soccer, college basketball, NBA offseason, Formula One. Woo! If you ask me, we are right around the corner from the best sports time of the year. Hello and welcome to The House That Happens, sponsored by Shoey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA. It's number one in our hearts, the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Hi, I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz. How you doing?
Good, how about yourself?
I'm doing outstanding, outrageous, catalysmic, my usual form. However, let me push back here a bit. You're going to say it's the best time of the year, right? For sports? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, this or October.
Okay, because I'm just going to say I would give you the benefit of a doubt with all the playoffs coming up, because then people say, well, you didn't get no football in there, so how could you say...
There's football here.
Well, there's football, but there's no actual on-the-field competition, so to speak. Is that what you would say?
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot baseball as well.
Yeah, that's... No, we're not...
Training.
We didn't know. I do agree. It is a great time of the year, considering it is the players this weekend also, which is some kind of weird. They're saying, like, that's the beginning of the season in golf. I'm going, really? Then I did. So that means I watched the Arnie Invitational, meant nothing. Pebble Beach meant nothing. I don't know how they do these seasons, but...
Indian Wells for tennis as well?
Yeah, Indian Wells. Yeah, should be good. Alcaraz, I think he's in the finals, isn't he?
He's in the semis.
He's in the semis.
Yeah.
It's tonight, right?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, and Sabalenka should be going all the way. She's looking...
Yeah, she's in the final today.
Yeah, she's looking beastly as usual. I watched a bunch of it. I hope she's playing... Is she playing... what's her name? I don't even know how to say her name.
She is playing Andreeva.
Andreeva, yeah. She might give her a go. By the way, can I say this? Andreeva's got the cutest nose on the women's tour.
Okay.
She's just, and you've seen her grow up, like, because she's been little, but now she's going to a little girl into a woman, so to speak. I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of that, but she's got the cutest nose. And I see her, and she's vicious.
Oh, yeah.
She's vicious. She'll poke you in the eye.
You don't move up to number 5 in the world for nothing.
And not only that, no, but she's got that girl next door help Granny across the street while she's kicking her cane out of her hand. Like, she's got a streak in her. Like, I watched her a lot this week. Should be a good final, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and she also mentioned Medvedev, Rune, and Draper are also in the men's semifinal for that one. But my first shout-out of the week will be for Humber's women's volleyball team.
Yes.
They made it to the national final, their first ever national final. It was hosted by Durham College in Oshawa. Unfortunately, they lost to Lakeland in 4 sets, but a silver medal in the nation, the first for the program, still an achievement for Humber, and hopefully they can build off of it.
No doubt about it. Too bad you didn't get it all. Like, people say you don't always remember second, but the fact that you got there, put it on the wall, it's a good mantle.
And Lakeland, this is their 3rd national championship in a row. So
Yes. Lakeland's got that reputation. They're a small school too, eh?
I guess, yeah. But like, it's Alberta and BC, they dominate volleyball.
What do you know what your enrollment is at Humber by any chance?
Oh, I looked it up one time. It's a lot.
10,000? More, eh? Yeah, and I heard Lakeland's only like 5,000.
Yeah, probably.
It's in Thunder Bay, right?
Lakeland? No, Alberta.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's...
You're thinking of like Lakehead University.
Oh, I'm thinking of Lakehead. Yeah, okay. So that's different. Okay. Whatever the case may be.
Do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, just first of all, I want to shout out to all my Pisces brethren that are out there. That includes Johnny Rogers, Jody Levoy, Stan Mychek, Eric Robs, Phil X, and the late, great Phil Narrow. It would be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday to all of us Pisces people. We usually get together at some time, but Shoey's isn't open, so Serge, get it together. You know what I mean?
And also to answer your question, these are numbers from 2014, but I mean, can't be too far off. Humber's enrollment was 83,000.
What? 80?
There's also 3 campuses.
I understand there's 3 campuses. You're saying 83,000?
Yep.
Like 83,000.
000.
Wow.
It's a big school.
Oh, I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that big, man. That's huge. That's bigger than most of these colleges that are playing in the States coming up for the tournament. Like, what is Quinnipiac?
Quinnipiac.
What is that? 6,500 or
That's a
something?
good hockey school.
Yeah, but they blew my pro line last night, but that's another story.
Hockey or ball?
Ball.
Oh.
Yeah, they hurt me. I was at a $2 ticket. It didn't really matter, but I got 5 out of 6, and that was my last one to Quinnipiac, and did not work out for me. The only other show that I will, because we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I just think that it's an amazing achievement. Just to exemplify it would be remiss if we didn't shout out to this Kimi Antonelli guy that's having his 18-year-old and his maiden voyage into F1 this weekend. I mean, we're going to talk about it when we get to the F1 season, but I wanted to shout out earlier because people got to understand, to be an 18-year-old and getting behind the wheel of one of these cars and racing on this level is prodigy phenom. Just North Americans. We in North America, like if it's like a Bedard or it's a Wembanyama or somebody like that we can grasp, we go, yeah, but this achievement by this kid is next level, isn't it? I know I'm just new to the game, but I'm blown away by and his composure to ride a car that's worth what? We're talking $1 billion industry year. Let's give the keys to an 18-year-old. Wow. Anyways,
that's pretty much how Max and Lando got it.
That's what I'm saying too. But you have to have the skills to do it.
Of course.
Because I seen a good thing on it, but we'll talk about that later, about some young guys that came along that left faster than they came in. You know, over the history in the last 20 years, young guys come up and just didn't have the moxie in a way they went. But I just thought it'd be a huge shout out for an 18-year-old. When I was 18 years old, I was getting kicked out of high school. You know what I mean? Like, think about it.
My next shout out is for Saturday Night Live. They had a very funny little segment about Kendrick Perkins on Weekend Update. That was very funny. Making fun of the whole beef with Charles Barkley and ESPN.
Yeah, what's the guy that does it?
Kenan Thompson?
Yeah, he is. And you know what? And he used all the little Kendrick phrases, which made it so good. You know, like Kendrick just throws in those Texas nuances or whatever that he does, and he threw them in. He was excellent at it. I saw it. I went back and I saw it. It was pretty funny. I hope they do it again.
Probably will, especially if it stays in the news.
Well, it should go away just like it should go other ways, because part of the problem is, and that's what keeps the NBA alive, is off-court drama shit. Like, they're the biggest drama. Like, they're driven by drama. Yeah. You know what I mean? Driven by drama.
Unfortunately. I'd like to shout you out, Cruz, for calling out the Leafs for 7 p.m. starts on Saturday games in the West.
What?
Despite the fact that Montreal gets the special treatment as well.
Oh, stop. Calgary asked for that. They said, we'll be nice to you. Like, you know, Calgary doesn't matter.
Sure.
All the men had to work in the morning overtime. So they said, get the game earlier. You know what I mean? That rarely happens. That's Montreal. I think it's a standard thing for across the board.
Rarely happens.
What? Always for the Leafs, ever.
It happens for Montreal, too.
This time it did. We're gonna keep our eye on this because Toronto does get more leverage. They even move Colorado games sometimes for the Leafs.
If it's Saturday, Hockey Night in Canada,
whatever they do it.
Same with Montreal.
Okay, we're gonna.
I've seen Montreal play. Hey, hold on, I've seen Montreal play in Colorado and it be a 7:00 start.
Really? On a Saturday night?
Yes,
That's
sir.
rare.
It's not as rare as you're making it out to be.
Okay, I got the schedule. I'm gonna fine-tooth comb Saturday nights, and we're gonna figure this out once and for all. Because we know that. Come on, favorite child is the Leafs. You just don't want to admit it.
I'm not denying that.
Okay, good. And you're just trying to throw back at me just because I said
Montreal is up there too. Let's call a spade a spade.
So you're saying Montreal could be the mecca of hockey? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you guys are money.
At times.
Always the second or third most valuable team on the Forbes list. I think it's safe to say that the Habs are money.
If they were in another province, they'd probably be even richer, so to speak, with whatever goes on in Quebec.
Let's not go there.
No, we won't.
So we referenced Indian Wells, TPC, the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass right now.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Rory's near the top. What's his name? Bhatia. He looks like an East Indian guy, but he's from somewhere in the Caribbean. This guy's been so close so many times that he's a shot at it. He'll be the leader there. A guy by the name of Smalley's near the top. A guy by the name of Strock. If you look at the top of the board, I should have it here. But today's move day, so it's going to be a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of guys that are just below. There's a pack from, I think the leader right now is -11. Is leading, but there's a pack of guys from 6 till 8 under that's just insane. That's got everybody that you want to know: Justin Thomas, Scotty Scheffler, Fowler, you name it. Anybody that's been doing anything. Aberg's in there. Lucas Glover has come back. The old man has made a little bit of a comeback, so it should be a really good day. It was really a drag because there was a couple times yesterday when things could have gotten broken records. There was insane things like, for example, Justin Thomas was +6 at the end of the first round. He ended up -2 yesterday and made the cut. So what's that? That's a 9 thing. So that means he shot, 9 under?
8 under.
8 under, whatever the case may be. It was absolutely insane. And to shoot 65 at TPC Sawgrass is insane. To shoot anything less than that is even crazier. Rory had a chance to do it. He was minus 11 after 16, but it was like the 8th and 9th, with 2 of the hardest holes. You know, sometimes they start on the 11th and they go it. So his last 2 holes were the 8th and 9th, and traditionally he bogeyed both of them to go down, but he had minus 11 going into those, which would mean that he would have shot a 64, 65 himself. So anyway, the golf's been very good. The weather's been fine. Check it out. It is, people understand about, they say sometimes it's the beginning of the season. I don't get that. But we just had the Arnie Invitational and Pebble Beach, which is usually the kickoff. But people don't understand this. The thing about the Players Tournament is this is the biggest money jackpot on the tour of the year. Like no other tournament will get. What's the winner get now? $4.5 million? $5 million? It's something absolutely outrageous. They jacked it up since the Live tournament.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what I've done. But the Live thing is getting messier instead of cleaner. Notice there's nobody's talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were supposed to get to the door, and what's going to happen is they're not going to have to decide between May and June. And why is everything May and June is? Because that's the first expiring contracts from the DJs.
Oh, like the first generation.
Yeah, like the first guys that did it, their contracts are going to be up. So what are they going to do? They're going to be allowed to walk right back into the PGA? So anyways, there was supposed to be some talk about the Arnie was supposed to be the first one. I did not know this. Back in November, they were going to try to use the Arnie as where we're going to start bringing Live guys back in. It was all kept hush-hush. But I don't know what went down because it said something about the money, even though they have the elevated events. And the PGA money went through the roof, and they got that $1 billion backing from that finance, what company it is. Not that it matters. They got the money. But what do you do in that situation?
I have no idea how this is going to play itself out.
Well, that's why they say it collapsed now. Because, okay, so DJ, you got your bill. Now you come back and you just try to clean up on this tour? Like you got your money? How does that work? You going to give any money back? Nobody gives money back. So how is it going to play out? Where's your ranking?
I don't know. I don't know how any of that's going to work out. It's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to be messy for a long time. I do notice that the Live guys have been getting some commercials on the TV lately. I've also noted that they've moved on to one of the streaming services. Is it a Hulu or one of those that are starting to pick it up? But slowly they're trying to get more exposure, so to speak, or more. Because I seen a DJ commercial with what's our boy DeChambeau.
Yep.
When's the last time you seen a commercial with those guys?
It's been a while.
Yeah, so they're on there. So I think there's something going on, but in my opinion, it'll never be settled because those boys already got the money. Mm-hmm. They got that bag. They didn't get the bag. They got the Brinks truck pulled up, walked out the door, walked right into
generational cash.
Oh, on levels like people can't understand. And all the people that were loyal to the tour, what do they get? So I respect them because now it's been turning out. What everyone's saying is there's no tour like the PGA Tour. No matter what Live does, doesn't matter if you tee off to AC/DC, it's not the Masters. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And I really think one of the things that's going to dissipate the next 5 years is talking about Middle Eastern countries that are involved in sports. That's just going to go out the window.
How so?
Let's go back 20 years ago where you said a lot of people said it was persona non grata to get in bed with certain people that had certain amounts of money. Mm-hmm. That's all gone away, don't you think?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But I wonder what the future of Live is because, like, it's not making any money, is it?
No, but it doesn't matter. It's like a vanity project for the Saudis. Is basically what it is. And they've done the same thing with your beloved soccer.
Yeah, but there's already guys there who are like, I don't even want to play here anymore. Like, they're going away. Then what's the draw of it?
Money.
But who are they going to get then? It doesn't make any sense.
That's why I'm saying there was a deal made back in November, apparently. And the deal fell apart. And the deal fell apart was, how are we going to get these guys to come walking back in? What did DJ get? $500 million. What did Koepka get? Close to $500 million.
Well, we don't know for sure, but
or $300 million or whatever the case may be. John Ram, they say, definitely got $500 million, and he's miserable. He's the most miserable guy out there. So what? 5 minutes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the future of Live? If like the guys are going there who take the money are all like miserable, they're gonna have trouble drawing guys in the future. So what's gonna be the draw of it?
I think what's gonna happen is Live maybe will collapse, but I can't see it collapsing with that kind of money. Come on, bro.
But at a certain point, like, it's the sunken cost fallacy again, right?
Oh, yeah, but that
because these guys are going to be like, at a certain point, like, we're spending all this money for what? Like, we can't even get the good golfers anymore. No one's watching. Like, it's not bringing in any money back. Like, what's the point?
It's a vanity project.
Okay, but at a certain point, like, vanity can only take you so far, right?
Say that again. Sunken
cost fallacy.
Yeah,
it's not the first time you've written this down on the pod.
And I've even put it on some lyric thing, but I forgot where I put it. I couldn't remember it the other night. But anyways, I don't know where it's going to go.
Sunken cost fallacy.
I'll give you co-credit for this wherever it goes.
No, I don't need that.
In any event, that's what the holdup is. That's why this money came in, to keep these guys here. Like, to win the players, I think it's 3 times the purse in 5 years. Like, whatever you won.
Wow.
I think it's like, I'm gonna research it so we'll know by the time the Masters come around. But the guy last week that won the Arnie won $4 million.
Yeah.
$4 million. That's a good weekend. You know, that's where they put the money in to compete with Live. It's a better tour. It's better competition. It's traditional. Blah 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 blah. So what do? You take the bag and say screw it? I don't know. I'm just saying there's got to be, like, some guys are going to look over. Okay, you're Xander
Schauffele.
You're Xander Schauffele, and you stayed. Okay, so you made what? You made $9 million last year. Okay, $9 million. Freaking DJ used that for private airplanes to fly around the world. Okay, you know what I mean? So this guy's going to come back and then try to take bread off your table. That's what it boils down to, you know what I mean? So I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm just saying that I'm a golf junkie. I've watched almost every hole of the players so far. You know what I mean? And I'd like to see some of those players come back too, because it would be better competition. The competition would go up. You know, because there's 5 or 6 considered some of the best golfers in the world playing and Live right now, including Cameron Smith after he won the British last year, whatever it was. Yeah, when he won the British and went over, I think it was. But in any event, I don't know how it's going to be settled. It's Players is on. That's how we brought it up. I'll be watching this afternoon. Who do I think is going to win it? I think it's going to be a guy like Straka. By the end of the show, I'll tell you what it is. I'll take a look at the numbers, because there's another guy that came out of the middle of nowhere that I've seen him play, and he looks good. My buddy Aberg, I like. I'm going to bring his name up a lot this year. But this guy's like the girl with the curl in the forehead.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those guys. When he good, he good. But I don't know. And it's golf is such. I watch it so much, and I don't care what anyone says. Soccer, driving an F1 car, whatever. You can go to a simulator whenever. But you have to admit, hitting a dimpled ball with grated metal and trying to make it go straight.
Oh, it's one of the hardest things to do.
On the planet, I'm telling you. And then this is also, if people don't remember, you do remember from the commercials, this is the famous course where the 17th is. There's the Island Green. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Only 16 balls have gone into the water this year. That's enough golf talk. Let's get on.
As enough golf talk, we'll keep an eye on that Live Tour situation as we keep going along the year. We will move this to the NFL, where we are in the midst of free agent frenzy. One of the big deals that took off right away basically was Myles Garrett going back to the Cleveland Browns for 4 years. $160 million deal with $123.5 million guaranteed, the highest paid non-QB in league history, Cruz.
Okay, I love Myles Garrett. I was hoping he was coming to Detroit. You know that, when he says a free agent. So how do I believe any of these guys from now on when they cry, I want to go to a winner, man?
Well, why do you have to believe them?
I'm not. I'm just saying that I got to shut the TV off. Like, I really thought when Myles Garrett...
take everything with a grain of salt, because all these guys are looking for leverage and...
I agree. Yeah. I agree. That's why I'm starting to hate agents more. But Myles came out. Now, how's he going to come right back in the dressing room? He basically told his team, you suck. I'm leaving. Oh, got the bag. Hey, guys, I was only joking.
I don't think the players care.
Because they're going to say you'd use it for the money, right? Then don't sell me no more stories. Fuck you guys. Every one of you guys, fuck you. I don't want to hear your stories anymore.
But it's not about you, Cruz.
Okay, it's not. So what am I supposed to give credibility to? Two of my favorite athletes. Like, don't cry to the microphone. Before we get into free agency, let's just talk about what happens here, okay? Myles Garrett did bitch. I want out of town. We heard it all. We talked about it. Love Myles Garrett. Detroit and Washington were in the front row of getting him. And all of a sudden, the owner came in. The owner just stepped in. Right? Whatever. You know, there's that talk. Oh, the agent said, no, you got to go through the general manager. Whatever. He got the bag. Great. After all that story, fuck you. I don't want to hear it anymore. What I like to hear is this. Matt Stafford went back to L.A. Do you get the underlying story of what went on there? Giants offered him. We don't know how much money's on the table. Nobody's saying. And the Giants don't want to say because they were embarrassed last year by that show. What Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah.
Okay, so they're keeping everything in-house because they've already looked like idiots. We know that, right? But apparently, Stafford left anywhere from $5 to $10 million on the table because he's got a comfortable life in L.A. Sean McVay loves him running the offense. We'll get to Devontae Adams in a minute.
Yep.
And the only one that gave the Philadelphia any trouble in the playoffs last year is the Rams. So let me say it. And everyone knows I'm going to be biased because Matt Stafford's one of my favorite football players of all time. But he took a little money for a comfortable situation. And when you look at what the Rams are doing, they'll be one of my preseason woo already. What are the Rams going on? I respect that. Josh Allen just got the most guaranteed money in the history of football. Okay? But he's not making Dak Prescott money. He's not making a few other guys making more money than him. Trevor Lawrence is still, I think, $1 million a year. What did he say? Now, they stretched this money over down the road so that, that it could, the restructuring and all that. But what did you hear Josh Allen's, did you hear his presser?
No, I missed it.
Oh, he goes, I own a car. I own a house. He goes, at this point in time, what's that few million to me down the road? Life is pretty good. He goes, if I got to accept the fact that I got to be winning, he goes, you got to look at big picture here. So how much more do I need as opposed to winning? Don't you think that's a great attitude?
It's the Tom Brady approach.
There you go. And I don't know if that gets taken every day, especially when a guy like Myles Garrett says, I got to go win. I got to go win. Oops, no, I got to take the bag. Anyways, let's continue on.
It's hard to turn down 160 million sheets.
Exactly. That's the bottom line, and I respect that. So don't tell me this and the next day you tell me that, because when I see on the field, I go, that's the Myles Garrett guy. I love Myles Garrett.
You're not going to be saying that. Come on.
I'll remind people. Yes, I will. I'm not kind of a prick. Fuck him. No, I shouldn't say that, Myles. I do like you, but, the way he sounded sincere. And Cleveland was a mess with the Deshaun thing.
Or maybe they just had a talking, they had a nice conversation.
Yeah, with the Brinks truck. He couldn't get out the door. He opened up the door, and there was a Brinks truck sitting there. What's he supposed to do? Walk in? Of course. I get it. But it's a Sam Darnold situation, too. You heard what he had to say. But anyways, let's get on with it.
Yeah, so you mentioned Devontae Adams before. He's going to the Rams, a 2-year deal worth $46 million. So you
20, I think it's 20 guaranteed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because you know what it is? They tell you the contract, but you should know what's the guaranteed money. Remember that, people out there, whatever they tell you, you know what I mean? No, don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe that was reported when I was looking it up.
But you're right. Myles Garrett is $100 million guaranteed.
123.5
guaranteed. Yeah, but it's almost $150 million contract, right?
160,
but 100. Yeah. So get the guaranteed money. So the thing about Sam Darnold is he got 33 guaranteened?
55.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Over 2 years.
3-year deal. Sam Darnold, 3 years with the Seahawks, $100.5 million, $55 million is guaranteed.
Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to front load the contract, and if they suck, they'll cut them after next year, and the salary cap will only be like $5 million because they're front end loaded.
Well,
I bet you there'll be very little guaranteed money in that third year.
Well, 55 mil is 55 mil, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, that's when he took the money up front, and he's got it. But this is I'm predicting Sam. Do you know who Scott Mitchell is, everybody? Look up Scott Mitchell. That's all I'm going to say. Sam Darnold will be the modern-day Scott Mitchell.
Even though he's got a new toy to throw to, Cooper Kupp signing with the Seahawks for 3 years, $45 million.
20 guaranteed. Or is it 19 guaranteed? I feel sorry for Cooper Kupp in this respect when you're seeing it around the league, and a couple other guys I want to bring up, including Laramie Tunsil.
They're not reporting how much is guaranteed yet.
Rumor has it... Rappaport, I think, said looks like 19 mil guaranteed. Something like that. Anyways, The bottom line is when these guys go at this, like Cooper Kupp's been in the league 7 years, right? He won the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
He had a lot of touches. How many times did you see Cooper Kupp get banged around?
A bunch of times.
Okay, did you see him? He had some injuries, right? So I think it's a gamble on both sides to when you take a look at it, because he's obviously still got skills. But for that kind of money, what does LA see that you didn't see? That's what I'm saying about maybe Houston's taking that approach. We talked about it off camera with this Laramie Tunsil guy. This guy's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's 5 times all-pro guard. What's everyone need? A left guard. That's what everyone talks about in football. Houston sent him along for a young kid that plays corner because they want to tighten up their corner in Houston. But what are we saying? Is it a copycat league? Who are the people that left New England working with Belichick went to where? Houston. People that were working for Belichick went to Detroit. Look at how those teams are building. You notice Detroit didn't make a lot of moves in free agency because they kept everybody they could. And they're going to go through the draft and hope it's the best. That's what I'm saying, because you got to have a great draft to get there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it's. I hope that these guys are still good and they still get their money. The same with Kansas City. They moved the guy to the left and then they shift him off to Chicago. You know, he was supposed to be their savior, but of course, obviously he wasn't.
Well, he's out of position, too. He was a guard playing left tackle.
Exactly. Now they put him over there, and where'd he go? Now they let him go to another team, or they traded him to Chicago. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, what do people see? So my point is, we were talking about the combine last week, and we're getting to free agency now. It's just one big freaking check their teeth, check their hooves. Like Animal Drive, isn't it? When you think about it, it really is. Oh, look at this. Look, he's got a little traction on his feet, Larry. Let's get him down the road. So you know what I mean? And another thing is, you always look at, they're due for the new contract. Nobody's going to pay that guy anymore. Like, he'll get a short term. Like, I think he's got one more year on his contract.
Who are we talking about?
Tunsil.
Oh, okay. I
think he's got 1 or 2 more years. 2 more years, but 1 year, there's no guarantee on the back end. So what's he going to do if he doesn't work? They cut him anyway, but you lose a draft choice or whatever. I don't know. I just think it's one big cattle feed. And the teams that continue to grow every year that don't have a big fall off do this kind of shit. And New England is the front runner. San Francisco.
Well, back in the day, yeah.
Yep, and well, look at it. Look what Buffalo's doing. Remember the last year, the beginning of the year, Buffalo gave up Gabe, gave up Stephon Diggs. Oh my God, what's Josh Allen going to do? Well, if you got a great quarterback, he makes great wide receivers. Got to look at it that way too, and it worked out. Same thing's going on in San Francisco. What have they done so far?
Well, people are worried that they may have lost too much.
Okay, that's the word around the campfire. But a couple of guys that were declared, including their other running back, it looks like McCaffrey might have some more as Achilles. McCaffrey might have some Achilles thing, and he might not even start the season again. So that's a big kerfluffle for San Francisco out there. But who were we talking about? Injuries, right? Lost my train of thought for a second there.
We just keep.
Well, anyways, before we go on, that's what I'm saying. Philadelphia had to do the same thing because once you reach the pinnacle, you're probably maxed out. And what do you do the next year to stay under the cap? Somebody's got to go. You got to adjust contracts. Philadelphia lost 7 guys.
Including C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who they traded to Houston.
Yes, and then Houston got another guy in the Tunsil trade, so they already got their back end up because they got New England guys. They're thinking like that. We don't want to – what it is, you want to retool, not rebuild. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the magic word. Have your culture retool. But if you look around the league, where's San Francisco been for the last 10 years? They've been around. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they're kicking at the door. Buffalo Bills with Bean. What's he been done? He's been able to sustain them.
Well, and they got Joey Bosa, too, the Bills.
Yes, that's a good pickup, too. And why do they and then, you know, when guys go out the doors, they just say crazy-ass shit. Did you hear some of the things that were said this week?
No.
Oh, it's just too much fun. You didn't hear?
No.
Okay, anyways, Bosa said he's leaving because too much Michigan from Harbaugh in San Diego. Oh, by the way, where did Bosa go to college?
I don't know.
Ohio State.
Oh. That's funny.
It is. And so when you hear shit like that, you go, yeah, okay, Joey. Whatever the case may be. But there's another example. That guy's been in and out of the lineup for how much of the year? You're going to give that guy, how much are you going to give him? Is it worth it to give him the money? You've already seen him. You've seen him in your building.
Yeah.
Somebody else is taking a chance on your building. But Buffalo's got some linemen. So if he could cut down his reps and be more effective. You know what I mean? Especially when to put him in those pass-heavy situations. You know what I mean? So he's only, 29?
It's a 1-year deal, so low risk.
Low risk, yeah, high reward. That's the way the NFL, it's always a gamble. And you hear the other one, too. DeMarcus Lawrence went to Seattle for 3 years, right?
Yes, he did.
Didn't that surprise you?
Worth up to $42 million. Is it surprising? In what way?
He's 28 years old? Why wouldn't Dallas re-sign him? Well, they can't afford him and Micah? I don't know.
I think it's a salary cap consideration.
It's kind of weird. I would have thought twice about him because he's been good. He's one of the reasons I'm Micah there. But you hear what he said when he went out the door? Why did you leave? Well, Micah, you seem to be more into tweeting than winning. And then, of course, the drama of the NFL came because it became a little bit of a Twitter war. But it tells you what's going inside some of the organizations when they're not winning.
I was going to say, I think Seattle, with some good pickups here, I think they could be a playoff team next year or this season.
Oh, we're going to argue about that. I disagree. I think they're going to go the other way.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is. First of all, they better tighten up their O-line. They didn't have the greatest O-line last year.
No.
Okay, so what? Well, we'll see what they do in the draft. What did they pick up? Because I'm looking at it this way. This is a Chicago thing. Remember, they got all the bright, shiny toys. They didn't get the line. Guess what happened? Khalib got bum rushed. He'll be better this year.
Caleb,
yeah, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about. This is a different animal out there in Seattle. You know what I mean?
They were a sneaky good team last year, though.
Did they make the playoffs?
I didn't say that. I said they were sneaky good.
Okay, well, we got a long way
They can
to
build
go
off that is my point.
Okay,
Seattle's going to be a wild card team.
Wow, we're going to have a different opinion on that. That's okay. I see the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we'll explain that later. We got a long way to go, drafts and all that other kind of shit too.
Yeah. So Justin Fields signed with the Jets a 2-year deal worth $40 million, $30 million of which is guaranteed. Will it matter?
I hope for Justin Fields' sake it does, because I think the guy's got some skills.
Yeah, but the Jets are trash.
Okay, that's true, but they still they got some weapons. They were looking like they had something going on at the end of the year, and they got a new coach. So let's just see what's happening. Like they're going. I don't know. They got personnel. They got personnel.
How is it at the top though?
Well, we're going to see now because they changed the regime a bit. Aaron Gordon's already come in and put his foot down right away. I think he went a little overboard on the telling Aaron Rodgers what to do, but we'll get to Aaron in a minute. Mm-hmm. But what's there to lose in Justin Fields? He's front end loaded too, so you only got 2 years. If it goes, they could draft another quarterback. But he's a mobile quarterback, and their O-line is suspect. But they got weapons, and the defense
not
is
as much
still,
though.
Well, no, but if they're used wisely, they can. They got Garrett Wilson. They got Buddy in the backfield.
I know, you just said it right there, weak O-line.
Well, they got a draft for it. Let's see what happens. I'm just saying, where are you going to go? Where else are you going to do? Would you take the $30 million? I'm Justin Fields? Because Pittsburgh
that's not my point. My point is that it's not going to matter for the Jets. They're still going to be shit.
I'm hoping that it does make a difference. I'm hoping Justin Fields does have a shot.
Jets are going to be dead last in the division.
I'm not going to be betting on them either.
Najee Harris signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers, and the Chargers brought back Mike Williams, which I thought was pretty interesting. That's a $6 million deal.
I'm saying that is the pickup of the year. I'm saying I don't know if it's going to be Saquon Barkley change, but look, this is Harbaugh, okay? Smash mouth football. Najee Harris is a good back. What was Pittsburgh's problem this year? O-line. Okay, and now he's already building
offense in general was a big problem with that team.
There you go. Now he's going to a team with Justin Herbert, a couple of wide. They could use another wideout, but Justin will do his job with an O-line, a young O-line, and they've drafted another guy, and they're going to. I think didn't they pick up a guy in free agency? I'm not sure.
Well, Mike Williams is a wide receiver.
Yeah, brought him back because they're going to need him, but they draft for O-line, and their O-line is going to be decent. Najee Harris is going to have a huge year. I'm predicting maybe a 1,500-yard season.
Wow.
From Najee Harris. Yeah, and how old is he? He's only 25, 26.
Yeah, he's not old. Not at all.
No, he's not either. I was surprised that Pittsburgh let him go, but then Pittsburgh's trying to get away from their salary cap problems too.
Yep.
So we'll have to wait and see, but continue.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. DeAndre Hopkins signing with Baltimore on a 1-year deal. I think that's a pretty good pickup for them.
Yep.
Daniel Jones to Indianapolis for 1 year. It's a $14 million contract, so he's pretty much going to take over from Anthony Richardson once he stubs his toe in week 3 or week 4.
That's just
maybe sooner.
That's just an interesting dichotomy going on in Indianapolis, eh? I don't know. And
another city or another NFL team, I should say, with a loopy owner, much like the Jets.
Okay, well, the crazy thing about it is we've got a national TV show that's very popular that comes on every day based in that city. And what they say on that show about the organization is rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like that's a flagship show in your city. They love football. And they're saying, hey, Indianapolis, you're trash.
They tried to keep it positive for a while. Didn't last.
No, it got to a point where everything came out of the dressing room. Who's running show? What's going on? You know, the whole culture, the word culture. But it's really alarming when you're football centric. You're based in a city. You came from that organization. And now you have to come to the conclusion that this organization is just a mess.
They trash.
Oh, yeah, it's just too bad. But I think that's very interesting. I thought that, to tell you the truth, I thought Minnesota was going to keep him because it's an interesting thing going on in Minnesota. Like, you're going to just say that McCarthy's the guy? Here he comes, rookie, put him in there.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, but they say O'Connell's the
it's not over yet. Well, that kind of leads to our next topic, which is Aaron Rodgers. So, from what I understand, it's Pittsburgh, the Giants, and Minnesota. They're the three front runners. Does he pull the Brett Favre, go to Minnesota? I think it's going to be Pittsburgh.
I do too, because you know what? There's been a mutual admiration society between Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers for years.
Probably since they played each other in the Super Bowl.
There you go, all that shit. So you know what I mean? There's a lot of respect going on there, back and forth. So Aaron Rodgers has still got something in the tank. If you look at his last 5 games for the Jets last year, and he was just coming off the Achilles, and he's going to go. Now, I don't want to be freaking blowing smoke up Aaron Rodgers' freaking skirt. First of all, you don't even know if the guy's going to play yet. He hasn't even committed to it. Is he on some retreat again or doing some crazy ass shit?
He's going to play.
Yeah, I think
he's going to play. Come on.
20 million?
2025.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone can really. I don't think he needs the money. I heard he's well invested.
Well, it's not about the money for him at this point, I don't think.
No, and I think Pittsburgh would be a great fit considering he's got the two wideouts. The other question is they better draft for the O-line. That's going to be their thing. But now, who are they going to have the running back? They gave away Najee. They got the other kid, but I don't know.
He's not as good.
No, I don't think he's as good either. That's why I say San Diego has already got my attention.
LA Chargers.
Oh, yeah. I heard somebody else say that on TV, and they said, you know, when you say San Diego, that means you're old. I am.
I mean, not really, because they got there, 3 years ago?
Yeah, but that's still, a lot of people know it's even when you got to say about the Raiders. Remember, they're in Vegas.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders, all that kind of shit, but it'll come around.
The homeless A's.
But I think San Diego has made good moves. I think that Rodgers, if I was Rodgers, I would go, I would take a shot at Minnesota. Not because of the Brett Favre situation, because then he could tutor.
That's the best team.
Yeah, it is, and he knows the NFC North. Not only that, it's his best shot at a Super Bowl. But then, if I was Minnesota, I'd be thinking this is a good year for this young buck to learn, because Aaron Rodgers was the exact opposite of Brett Favre. He gave Jordan Love. Any like Jordan Love will tell you now, Aaron Rodgers was great to be with, to learn off. Aaron Rodgers said some days he couldn't get the time of day from Favre.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. He says, I would never do that to a guy. So I don't think it would be any threat to McCarthy. I think it would be a win-win for Minnesota. I hope he stays out of there because he's in my division. And I don't want Minnesota to get any better. Come on. You know what I mean?
So I have something here, too. It's from an old piece of, I believe they call this news papier.
Okay.
It's an old form of communication.
I still love that. I read them every day.
Early offseason winners for the NFL. Washington.
Yes, I agree.
New England.
Oh, they spent what? $2.5, quarter of a bill? Had the money, spend it.
Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin hometown discount. You don't think that's worth anything?
Yeah, that's okay.
Losers. Dallas. We kind of alluded to that.
Yes.
Philly, just because of all the guys that they lost. San Francisco, again, team that lost a bunch of guys. Houston is on here, which is interesting.
What, is a team that lost?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't understand that.
And the New York Giants.
Yeah, because they didn't get what they wanted. They're in trouble. Now, here's the other thing, and I hate to bring this up, too, because it sounds like bias is the biggest thing about it that you heard out there is there's some teams didn't make a move, and there's been even clamor on some sites like my beloved Detroit Lions did not make a lot of moves. Well, they've got everybody under contract.
Well, no one's calling them a loser.
No, and everything under contract. Everybody know they had all the injuries last year. Everybody knows who's coming back. Now, they did sign the lineman from where? I should have told it, but they didn't return Tavarius Smith. So I don't know what's going on with their line, but sometimes it's better to sit in your hands if you got the team. Like if you're talking about 3 years ago at San Francisco, they weren't making a lot of moves, or Kansas City, if they had the team that was set, they made the subtle turns. That's all Detroit's done, is made the subtle. Because if you got the team, roll it. Because when you really think about the NFL, your opportunity is like 3 or 4 years unless you retool.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're fucked again.
That's all sports.
Yeah, a lot, especially in the salary cap. But we'll get to that later. The only other thing I think that I think is interesting is all this backup quarterback situation. Do you see what went on there?
Like the guys moving around?
The guys moving around.
Gardner Minshew to the Chiefs.
What's his name?
Kenny Pickett went to Cleveland. I know that one.
Mac Jones went to where? He went to Mariota, staying in Washington again. And Jameis Winston doesn't have a job yet.
For now.
Okay, so look at how funny that is. 8 years ago, both of those guys were 1 and 2 in the draft.
Picks, yeah.
And now they both got backup jobs within 8 years. It tells you, like, you can make good money as backup. Where did he go? Yeah, Mac Jones went to San Francisco, which was a smart move. You know what I mean? But the teams that are doing that, because you never know what's going to happen with your quarterback. And paying $10 million a year for a backup quarterback seems to be the wise decision to make. Agreed?
Sure.
We're going to find out anyways when the season comes. But very interesting. I think it's going to be even more if 2 running backs out there that I'm wondering what's going to happen with them. Chubb and Dobbins, both great backs, injury issues.
Yep.
What are they going to get? In free agent, nobody touched those guys. So when people say the running back's all the way back, I'm going, I don't know about that. I don't see that.
Even Najee, only, 9.25?
Yeah, exactly. So he was around the 10 or whatever, like whatever the case may be. We'll see. We got 6 months till the season starts. OTAs are before you know it, which is what tells you about amazing about the NFL, right? Because they got to have everything.
Dies.
But they got to have all the ducks in order for all these dates, which just makes it a year-round thing. Good for them.
We will continue to keep an eye on the NFL offseason as it rolls along, especially with the draft a month away. But now we will move our attention over to Formula One, where we are in opening weekend. Australia kicking off in Melbourne. We had qualifying in the wee hours of the morning, and the race will be in the wee hours of tonight.
I'll be watching it.
1-2 for McLaren on the grid. Lando is on pole. Piastri second. Verstappen third, Russell fourth, Yuki Tsunoda fifth, Albon sixth, and then it's a Ferrari fourth row, Leclerc, Hamilton 7-8, and then Gasly and Sainz round out the top 10.
Should be an interesting race. They're saying the weather and the wet and they made some adjustments to the track, right?
Yes,
they made some. Was it to the surface?
I think so.
Yeah, because the big debate is the heat, the rain, and the temperature are all going to have effect on what tires that you use at what particular time. So this could be.
Well, if it's wet, then you're going to be using inters.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah, but they were saying they're keeping a close eye on the weather and what they practiced with during the practice. Practice don't mean fuck all now. You know what I mean? I watched the practice the other day. It don't mean shit. They get the qualifying. They do all kinds of stuff like. One of the cars was flying around like 10 men. I forget who it was. Was it? Maybe it was Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Then you found out they're running around with like no gas in the tank. You know what I mean? Like you forget about little nuances. Like they try things out with the car. Do we put more gas in it? Do we put this much gas in it? And they check all that aerodynamics. So from now on, I'm just gonna watch F1 practice just to see if everyone's there. What they do on the track doesn't mean a lot to me.
Right.
Because if I was listening to what was going on in practice, Max shouldn't have a top 3 car.
Well, again, practice. Guys are sandbagging.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Basically, that's a good word for it. I never even thought about it. That's what I'm saying. After I watched practice and then I seen the qualifying, I said, this practice is shit. They don't mean nothing. They're just it's to create drama so we get eyes to the screen. But then you see shit like the kid crashed a car, which I was going to ask you about. Yeah, like what effect will that have on the year? That's your first practice, your first time out, and you demo a car. Didn't you tell me about last year you only have so much money or you're going to do, like, they don't, like...
Yeah, it takes away from your development budget.
Explain that again, because it confuses me. Like, these cars are like Lego. You take them back in, take all those broken parts off, you put on new parts, you put them back on the track, and away you go. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? Can't they bring 3 cars? They only bring 2, right?
Yeah.
They bring 2, but then they bring a container full of parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand why it would be if you got the same car and you got the same parts and you smacked it around and you put the new Lego parts on, away you go. Shouldn't we be back to where we were before?
Well, it depends on like what kind of stuff like you break. If you basically like total the whole car, then you run into issues. Like if you just like clip the front wing and whatever.
Oh no. Did you see it? This car damage ink. Okay, so that's what made me think when last year when you were saying about when Red Bull made some adjustments or took development money or whatever. I'm still not completely comprehending the whole run on that situation, but when I seen this guy crash, and he's a rookie, and he just got called up, I felt sorry for the guy.
It was a rough day for the rookies.
Yeah, rough day for all of them, really.
Liam Lawson qualified 18th. Had a rough time, especially that last lap he put in was terrible in that Red Bull.
He had trouble keeping it on the track. He was having trouble with the curves.
Yeah, I was like, oh, missed apex.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
on the grass.
Yeah.
And then he didn't even finish the lap. He just went right back into the pits. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, just some bad luck, ran over, I know, something along the curbs there, and then like it damaged the underbody, and he was scraping the floor, basically, or scraping the ground with his car. Some bad luck. I guess Jack Doohan, 17th, okay. Bortoletto, actually 15th in that Sauber. That's actually kind of impressive. And then Isaac Hadjar qualified 11th in the Red Bull Junior, which have been a sneaky good team this weekend.
Yes, they have. You know what I mean? Do you think that, I don't think McLaren's going to run 1-2 tomorrow, even though they got the 2 pole positions. I'm predicting now I don't see that happening. I just don't, because what happened last year, the track's a little wet.
What do you mean because of what happened last year?
What would you put it? Strategic moves or whatever, what have you. I don't think they're going to come in 1-2. That's all I'm going to say. I just
double podium?
Maybe a double podium, but they won't come 1-2. Like if they come 1-3, I think somebody, and I'm not even going to say it could be Max, could be somebody else. But I just don't see them starting off the year 1-2. If they did, oh my God, what a roar that would be.
I mean, all it takes is, especially like if it's a clean race, like no safety cars, that kind of thing, that's going to make a big difference. And all you got to do is like to have like a solid first lap and just make sure, because it's a 1-2, it's a front row lockout.
Oh,
that's
agreed.
huge.
Agreed. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, no, that's mega. I agree. However, we've seen past performances with these guys in the rain. Okay, that's another thing. Lando does not have his best performances in the rain.
I'm just saying they got to have a good start. If like both of them get off the front well, Lando gets away and Piastri keeps Max off.
It's a possibility. I'm basing everything I'm saying on the weather. 60% chance of rain for 60% of the length of the race or some shit, whatever the
there's going to be some rain. It's going to be wet.
That's what I'm going to say. And if there's no rain, I won't be surprised because you don't trust the weatherman all the time. Let's see tonight when the race starts. We'll take a look. We'll be able to say then. Now, if it's completely clean and the sun starts shining, then I'm going to say, oh, McLaren, I like your position now, but I'm basing it on the weather. I'm going to say no. What do you think of F1 moving into the movie situation?
Oh, I'm excited for this movie.
I don't, like, it's going to be like...
It's the same team that basically did the last Top Gun movie. Same director, same producers. Hans Zimmer's doing the music as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a movie about F1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard that Lewis Hamilton had a bunch of...
all these guys are in there.
Oh, yeah?
They're all in there.
So it should be good.
So like the team principals, they're all in there.
But then there's going to be a fictitious crew that...
Yeah, there's an 11th team.
Yeah, that's going to be doing the... Yeah, that's what I heard.
Apex, I think they're called.
You could be right. I didn't say on it. I just thought it was interesting because they said that and it's interesting because I'm one of the ones that came along and piqued my interest as they said the success of Drive to Survive was so immense. Why not take it to the big screen?
Yeah.
Which is good marketing on F1 once again.
I bet you I haven't done too much research into the production, but I bet you it could have been like just kind of like a script they had sitting around, and then Drive to Survive got big and they're like, oh, let's strike when the iron's hot, right?
I'm not 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Hamilton to Ferrari. It looks like my suspicions were true that Leclerc will be outracing him this season.
Mm-hmm.
Although Hamilton last year, he didn't qualify that well, but in the race, he was very good. So if we get that from Hamilton this year, I'll be happy as a Ferrari guy.
What's he, 6th? He's
8th.
He's 8th? I think he could make a run through the pack.
Especially in the wet.
And that's
the great equalizer.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that he could be one of the ones that sneak up there after all is said and done, but we're going to have to wait and see tomorrow.
Our favorite stoner, Pierre Gasly, had a good session as well.
Oh, yeah, he had a great session. He could be in there, too, and he came out of the car smiling.
With the buzzed hair now, too.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Must be a new thing. I'll be saying same thing as our boy Bo on the Jays. He got it. His hair is shaved. They're all shaved.
I don't know. Gasly's going for like the French soccer player look, I guess.
I liked him better with the long hair, but hey, who cares? He's just a good guy. He's a cool guy. See when he jumps out of the car, he looks like he just went and got ice cream. He's just too cool.
Also, watching qualifying last night, I realized Max is getting his 5th in a row.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's getting it.
He's just Max. He's just, you see when he gets out of the car? Like,
The only issue is that like his teammate sucks.
okay, but I mean,
No offense to Lawson, but like that ain't it.
well, they're not going to get constructors. Is that what you're saying? Okay. The thing about Max is he's got that nothing going on over here. Man, what are you looking at?
He don't give a fuck.
No kidding. But he's a great driver. Look how he handles the car. Like if you had like I watched all the practice. And if I listened to those guys in practice, they said, "Oh, I hope Max gets off to a good start." Like they were dragging his dick in the dirt, but then he's a villain, so everybody loves a chance to smack the guy. Come on, you know that. But then he goes out in qualifying, and he wasn't that far off. What Lando wasn't that far ahead of him.
Right.
So, like it was only 1,500 of it was really, really close, the top 3 cars, which says a lot about if we have inclement weather tomorrow for the race. Max is just the ultimate villain.
Well, Lando beat him by like almost half a second.
Is it half a second?
Yeah.
I thought it was
The
close.
McLarens were very fast.
Oh, yeah, they were flying around, no doubt about it. We're going to have to wait and see. But I like your assessment because there's always the human element in everything you do in sports, and Max has got the driving moxie that I don't see in Pastrani or in Lando.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anything else for Formula One?
No, but I'm looking forward to the race. Looking forward to the season.
We'll keep an eye on that. 58 laps tonight in Melbourne. We'll move it to college hoops now, where a little bit of interesting news. Steph Curry named the assistant GM of Davidson. What do you make of that?
Steph? Like, not his brother, Seth, isn't it? Or is it Seth?
Steph Curry.
He's getting ready for retirement already? He went to Davidson.
Yeah.
So we know. I seen him play for Davidson in the Final Four in Detroit City, 2008. I was there. I think it's very cool because it's talking about NIL. Okay? Now it's finally come out. Like, I think it's a good move, don't you?
I think it's an interesting move. When's he going to have time for this?
Well, he's just going to be there for recruiting purposes and handing out the money.
I guess.
That's a preppy-ass school. You know that.
Davidson?
Yeah, it's like a Vanderbilt, like those schools. Like it's preppy-ass to go to one of those schools. You know what I mean? But meanwhile, his brother went to Duke. Mm-hmm. But he went on his reputation. I think that was all weird back in the day. But I think it's great. Anyone you're going to bring in there because NIL has changed everything. And anything you can do, bring to your school, to bring attention to your school, to help out with recruiting, let's do it. So, Steph, and I think he'd be a good guy. I think he's going to be good to do it.
Good luck, Steph. Gonzaga, your favorite school, and St. Mary's beat the record for most meetings in a conference championship.
Unbelievable. What was there, 14th or 15th?
15th, I believe.
15th, and breaking the North Carolina Duke record, which I thought would never be touched for a number of times. But you know what that tells you, though? And who won the championship game?
Gonzaga.
St. Mary's, you're always a little bitches. You never win. I think both of them are going to make the tournament. But that's all going to be...
Gonzaga's in there for sure. They lost
of course. But I think St. Mary's is going to drop them to like a 6th seed. One of the brackets. They almost won. They were first place all year, and then you lose that one to Gonzaga, and away you go.
So you're an upset alert for the first round already, basically.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's going to be an interesting year. See, what I'm bringing up about the NIL and Steph doing that, because everyone's trying to do it here, is that one of the things I finally heard people saying is SEC, biggest football conference. How much money do they bring into their conference with money alone, just on football?
Yep.
So why not pour a little bit of that football money into your basketball program?
It's the second biggest sport in NCAA.
Okay, and everybody wants to be part of March Madness. It's American tradition, right?
Yep.
Jay Billis, what's the old guys with the bald head with the glasses? Oh, that looks like Jay Billis too, but... 3 of the old school guys, because I don't know, maybe they don't want to talk about it on the air, because it seems sometimes they bring things up, everybody jumps back, don't want to talk about it because all the ridiculousness that went on for the last generations about hiding money, backdoor deals, all this other shit. Now everything's just on the table, which kind of makes hypocrisy out of what was going on for some of the last 20 years, don't you think?
Sure.
But in any event, they said, look where this NIL money is poured into. A record, not only that record, that a record I thought wouldn't be touched for a while, is the St. Mary's Gonzaga one. Looks like SEC is going to break a record for most teams in a tournament, qualifying for a tournament. This is insane. They might have 14 teams.
Holy.
Some people say 16 teams.
That's insane. That's a quarter of the tournament, basically.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to get there. So, that's why I'm saying Connecticut must be sweating their bags off. They didn't
As
even
they
make
should
it.
be.
Yeah, because they haven't been up there. So, and what's the depth of your school? So some of those other places like the Big 12, the ACC, the Atlantic, some of those times when you get two schools in because one was really good and one was close or whatever, they're going to get wiped out by those SEC teams. You know what I mean? And look what happened in the SEC tournament. We got the semifinals today. 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in place. No upsets. Here they go. It's going to be a dogfight. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to watch basketball, this is going to be some great games in the SEC alone because this is going to be affecting where they're seated next week when the announcement tomorrow night at 6:00. Now, Auburn's already guaranteed a number one. They're saying it doesn't matter what they do the rest of the way. They're going to be, if they lose today, it doesn't matter. They're going to be a number one. I respect that. However, who say someone beats Auburn, that's going to move them up the ladder. Like they could be going from a fourth to a second or a third to a fifth, which is going to make a difference on what school you play and where you get lined up in the tournament. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this SEC today, tomorrow is going to be very, very, I'm going to watch both games. I'm going to be recording both games, 100%. Pay attention.
Also, we got to talk about Cooper Flanagan, all of his achievements. Obviously, he had the ankle injury the other day. But he got named ACC Rookie of the Year, ACC All-Defensive Team, First Team All-ACC, and ACC Player of the Year.
And if I was him, because he's definitely not going to be playing in the semis or the finals.
No, he's been ruled out already.
He's ruled out. But is he going to play in March Madness?
That's the thing. No one knows yet. No one's saying. I think they're hoping for the best.
Yeah, but there's no structural damage, which is a great thing to hear. So here's my take on it. If he doesn't play in March Madness, come back next year and play again for Duke.
But the NBA is offering him the bag.
No, you got to come in on that, whatever you come in on. I bet you'd make a couple $1 million less.
What, in the NBA?
No, but you get $5 million out of Duke. We said that last week. Now, here's more of an example. Like, you're a college kid. Don't you want to play in March Madness?
I'd rather play in the NBA.
Okay, look at the college things. If you talk to all these guys that play there and play in college, they all say the college experience is amazing. They all did it. LeBron's biggest thing is he goes, sometimes he wished he went to college for 1 year. But he could.
Yeah, but then he looks at the pile of money he has, and I think he's okay.
Oh, I know that, but I mean, it's just
Scrooge McDuck.
It's like a legacy thing. It's a great American tournament, and everybody wants to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Even the kids that go overseas that didn't quite make it, that go and play in a professional league because they don't have the SAT numbers to go to college, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And a guy like Lucas even said, we don't have anything comparable to that in Europe, because he was making money. Why does he want to go to college when he's already making money in Europe, right? But the bottom line was when he came over here and he seen how the tournament was, they all go, that would have been interesting, Wemby, because it's March Madness. 1 game knockout. It's
but if the NBA comes calling with the money,
okay,
no one's saying no to that.
Okay, I don't know. How much does Wemby make right now? What did he make last year?
Top draft picks, probably like over $5 million.
Oh, yeah, I think they do. I think they make closer to $10 million, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. I could be lying. But for the experience of playing at Duke and have a shot at the national championship, and you're that young and you're going to make the money anyway, you couldn't hang around for $5 million?
No, I'd go to the NBA.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy for me to say I'm old. I'm thinking I'd rather do both just for the legacy purposes of it. You know what I mean?
And so actually NBA, Victor is making 12.7 this year.
12.7? So
that's like Cooper Flags would be making that money.
Okay, yeah, because he's the first on the scale. So he's making 12. So I don't think Duke will give him 10, but Duke might, word around the campfire is they'd give him 5 to 7.
By Duke.
But I mean, you don't think there's any validity? Like, this is what I'm saying. So it's all about the money anyways.
Well, money and you want to play, if you can play professional, you're going to want to play professional.
Okay.
These guys are competitive. Why would I want to be playing against kids when I can be playing against men?
You get the opportunity to win the Natty.
I don't care. I'd rather play in the NBA.
Big. Everybody that's on there, everyone's happy they got a Natty. You tell me one guy, Isaiah, Jordan, Magic. What's Bird pissed off? Never got a Natty.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean? That's the way it goes. But
he's got 3 NBA titles. He's okay.
Oh, no kidding. A lot of guys that won the Natty never got a ring. So let's look at it that way. But I'm saying, if I'm Flag, no, you're right. I know what you're saying about the $12 million, but I would seriously consider it. And here's another thing for all those kids out there that wanted to draft too early. Take your $1 million and stay in college 1 more year. It's better for development. You're going to have more time to practice, and you're going to get your bag down the road. Okay?
Maybe, maybe not. That's the issue.
Well, if you're going to be good enough to be drafted, it's going to be drafted. You're going to get it.
Shit happens, though.
Okay, so I'm going to base it on this. John Brom, who plays for Auburn. Let's see where he gets drafted in this draft. He's one of the players you should be watching when you watch this tournament. This guy's a beast. Oh, by the way, what is he, a senior or a junior or graduate, whatever the case may be? He's been around.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little longer to develop. But, hey, he's going to be there. You know what I mean? What is it? Houston. They're going to the finals. I think I'm taking Houston to win it all, even over the SEC teams. They got 3 guys. You know what? They played a combined 300 college games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's what I said. They play what? Between the 3 of them, they played over 300 college games. They're a number 1 seed in the tournament. They're men. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, it's not like these guys were being told that they could make the NBA as juniors. That's why they stuck around, right?
So I'm saying what the development is, and we've discussed this: the Norman Powells, the Buddy Heels, the
okay,
Spencer
but
Dinwiddies.
the difference is Norm. They were telling him in his senior year, "You're ready." Before that, was he getting any buzz? No. That's why he didn't jump ship.
Well, that's what they always say, and then you get an agent comes along and says you'll get more money next year, which comes back to my original theory: why not stay in college? You get developed, drafted higher. This guy on Auburn's going to be, I'm really looking at where he's going to go. And here's the other extreme, too, is the 2 guys on Rutgers, we're not even going to get to see those guys play. Like, who are these guys? You know what I mean?
Anything else for college?
No, we should get out of here, but please watch it. You know what we should do, though? Because the tournament is next Wednesday, maybe during the week you can post somewhere on this site what our predictions are.
Okay.
So can we talk about it next week?
I will do that, and we will move this over to MLB, where unfortunately Max Scherzer had a thumb issue. They're saying it's a nerve issue, which has been a problem for him in the past. So already starting on a bit on the wrong foot here, and it has me wondering, is the worst case scenario going to play itself out for the Blue Jays?
No, don't worry about it. Max is going to be fine.
Well, hold on. Is Kevin Gausman going to be tipping pitches again this year? That was a problem the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
Bassett, we know he's a head case.
Bassett's look good, though.
Spring training, everyone looks good.
Some look better than others.
Well, I've seen guys who have had great spring trainings. They've had shit seasons, so throw it out the window.
Okay, so right now I'm going to look at it this way.
And Barrios can be a little hot and cold sometimes.
So I'm looking around the league. You tell me any team in the American League that's got 6 starters like the Jays right now.
Well, I'm telling you, there's teams in our division that look a lot better than us.
Okay, Jarrett Cole is not going to be pitching. They're starting with Rondo.
They got away with without Jarrett Cole for a lot of last year, or Garrett Cole, excuse me, for a lot of last year too.
This is
the Red Sox have what?
He could be gone the whole season.
They can trade for someone.
Okay, we're going to see.
The Yankees always have good guys in the farm
You're going to
system.
say that the Red Sox rotation looks better than ours?
They look better as a team than us. They can hit.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to say, but it's always pitching
because that's
first.
the problem, too, with the Jays. We know hitting's going to be an issue.
Now we're gonna 2 weeks from now we're gonna let everyone know the season's gonna start. It doesn't matter. I love doing this, but our baseball preview will be 2 weeks from today. We will be recording it because there's gonna be a lot to be said over the next 2 weeks, and it looks like I'm gonna be the defender of the Blue Jays, and my accomplice across the table, he's gonna kick the shit out of our team all year, which I'm saying you should be allowed to do after last season because we don't want no more of that. But I'm gonna try to be
5 years. Forget the last season.
I'm trying to be the purveyor of some kind of good news. So we can't hit. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. They're going to have to make some decisions here. First of all, what scares me more about anything is position players. I'm not worried about the pitching. We got 6 starters, okay? I think Shire's going to be fine. I'm worried about the bullpen in this way.
Yep.
Swanson's been a write-off. He's the guy now. He's got another injury problem. Send this guy out of town. Forget it. We lost Oscar Hernandez on this guy. However, if you look at the other guys that have been in there, Hoffman, Garcia, Chad Green, the kid that's played in Buffalo last year.
Rodriguez?
They've all had good springs. They're all pitching well. And didn't Rodriguez start a few games for us last year too, didn't he?
Who?
Rodriguez. Didn't he start a few games?
Yeah, a bunch.
Okay.
I think he's more of like a long man, though.
Well, that's because if they got the 5 there, but if Shizer isn't ready to go, Scherzer isn't ready to go, that he could step in. So until they get out on the mound and start pitching, though, I could be talking shit. Let's cut to the chase here, okay? But there is a modicum of pitching in here, and I'm looking around the league, and by the preview, I'm going to look around the whole American League. I don't think you'll find anybody with the starters that the Jays have. Oh, and another good thing is Manoah's pitching without pain, whatever that means.
Okay.
Pregnant pause. Whatever that means. But Manoah's throwing without pain.
I'm just saying there's a bunch of question marks in the rotation already.
Okay, I'm not worried about that.
In our batting lineup, like once you get past number 3.
Now we're talking about
I'm just saying it's all one thing though. That's
no. I think our pitching can hold us in there. We can get to the bullpen maybe, because the first month of the season is going to tell us, because we talked about it last week. The first month of the season is a gauntlet right off the bat who we're going to play. So here's my issue: who's going to play where, when, and why? First of all, if you tell me Varsho's hitting cleanup on this team, I'll lose my
fifth,
shit.
Most likely.
He should hit 7th. That guy shouldn't be letting him in the top 5. Stop it.
Just take Martinez out of camp. Just bring him up right away.
That's what I'm saying. Why not? He's one of the guys that's got to go there. Now, this Rodon kid. Rodon. He came out of nowhere. He's hitting like 10 men. So why don't you do this when you have spring training? The best guys in camp start with the big team. So let's go, because we don't know. Like we can't say what these other guys are going to do anyway, right? We already seen Schneider.
Exactly.
Okay. Clement's going to be our starting third baseman. So, and who's going to be in the outfield? I'm not sure. Barger's been hitting the ball hard, so we better give him the time of day. You know what I mean? So bring all the bats up. But my thing, what's the batting order going to be? Okay. They've been starting with
Bo leading off.
Vladdy second, Santander going to be third. Who's going to hit fourth? Springer? Are you kidding me? He's a leadoff guy. No. Varsho? Are you kidding me? No. Put one of the kids in there. Put the pressure on him. Let's see what you can do. Or drop somebody down and put somebody else at the top. So that Bo's hitting second, Vladdy's hitting third, Santander's
I like Vladdy hitting second.
Oh, I love Vladdy hitting second too, but maybe we could Bo would go into third and put somebody else in.
I wouldn't be or even Bo fourth.
Bo's hitting the ball off the cover, by the way. You seen him in spring training?
Yeah.
Guy's ripping the ball. He looks 100%. He looks like no injuries, no problem. So that's what you got to realize. But we still got to play defense. So who's going to play where? Who's going to play where? Someone said to me that Varsho might have to do some DH time. Are you fucking kidding me? I'll lose my shit. If I go there one day and I see unless he's got a minor injury and got somebody out there and his bat is lighting up my spliffs.
I think he's going to be batting DH game 1, unfortunately.
Oh, you're killing me. Why? Because he can't run?
I don't know. If I wish I had a window into the mind of these guys, because I don't get it either.
Okay, so you watch baseball. You're a pretty smart guy. You're going to tell me right off the season they're going to start looking at Varsho in a DH spot? Are you kidding me? This guy's supposed to be Gold Glove. What about runs against whatever and all those stupid freaking metrics I hear every day that I don't want to hear anymore?
He is good defensively, though.
Oh, he's great defensively, so you got to put him in the outfield. What are you going to do? Put him out there? You're going to put like La Perfido out there?
Loperfido.
He only runs in one direction.
If it was my vote, I would say Miles Straw in center field game 1.
Okay, I'm going then put Varsho in right and Springer in left.
Well, if Varsho's not ready to go defensively game 1, I'm saying.
Why, is there supposed to be a reason why he's not ready?
Yeah. He has some sort of injury or something. That's why they're not playing him in the field.
He's hitting the ball like 10 men. I haven't seen him hit the ball like this forever. Okay, so if that's the case, if there's a case that he's got an injury problem or a mild injury and he can still hit, I'll give it to you for what? Till he better get back in the outfield. So I would put Straw out there. He's another guy that I'm thinking of that's young, that looks good in camp. We don't know till they get to the big thing. So now, where do we put him in the batting lineup?
Straw?
Where do we put him?
Put him last.
Okay, so then where do we put Clement in the batting order? 8? Now
7th or 8th.
Okay.
It depends how you feel about that Jimenez guy that we got.
I heard that perhaps maybe we should give him a chance at leadoff. I jumped off a cliff. I said, "Are you
That's
kidding me?"
That's not going to happen.
No,
unless we're desperate.
Well, they're saying a new place, new environment, new situation could expose his bat. He's only
new weed.
New weed. He's only 27 years old, isn't he, or something like that?
Yeah, 26 and a half.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they're saying he still has the opportunity to learn to be a better hitter. And all that other bullshit I'm not buying into. Guy couldn't hit before. He's going to suddenly become a hitter. Stop it. I don't believe that for 1 second, okay? Now, what I do
You sound like Billy Bean in Moneyball. If he's a good hitter, why don't he hit good?
Yeah, exactly. Help me out with that, all right? So my question is, I'm giving it, like, here, this is how we started with this. I'm giving the pitching staff a little bit of a breather here. Okay, I'm giving them a chance. They're veterans. They're coming out. A few guys look in the bullpen. Swanson,
I'm starting to see the cracks, is all I'm saying.
Okay, but I've looked around the league, and nobody even our division has as many starts.
Okay, but that plus the hitting is my concern.
So I'm saying that we're already over here. I'm going to give the pitching a little bit ahead. What I'm worried about is the everyday lineup and what the batting order is going to look like, because it's supposed to be pitching and defense. Who's going to be our backup catcher?
Heineman.
Killing me.
But the one thing that drove me nuts, I heard a stat last year. The Jays had like 150 starting lineups last year.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane. You should. What do they say it should be? It should be like what? That's 150. That means that almost every other game,
almost every game was a different lineup.
I think what they say it should be 120 or something, and you're a contender. Like 120. I remember I've heard this metric before, but you're around 120 lineups, and you're probably a contender. Otherwise, you're a joke. Now, this is why I'm saying about this before I go on to pitching. We go any further. We also got Brandon Little looking good. That Ryan Yarbrough guy's coming in, and he's looking good. Look at all these arms we have in the bullpen, and some of these guys can switch to freaking.
I don't know if Yarbrough is expected to make the team out of camp, though.
He's looking good, though. So who should look? And Swanson's out of the picture.
Yeah, for now. But it looks like the bullpen is projected to be Jeff Hoffman, Chad Green, Jimmy Garcia, Nick Sandlin, Brendan Little, Zach Pop, Tommy Nance, and Yariel Rodriguez.
I take Yarbrough, one of those guys. I've seen some of these guys.
I'm not a big Zach Pop guy.
Nah, either. When I seen his name, I seen what already he can do. Give this guy the chance. When I've seen them both pitch, because I've been watching. You know what's funny about watching preseason baseball? It's hilarious. Like, I'll have 3 games, and like the PVR does them all, and I'll watch like 3 games in like an hour. You know why? After about 4 innings, you don't know half the guys that are playing anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that guys aren't there. So you just see the main guys and what they're going to do. Yarborough's look pretty damn good. And I'm going with this, just come out of the camp with the best guys that have showed up in spring training, so we don't say, oh, we'll bring them up in May because of contract situations. Oh, we have to rely on the veteran. Screw that shit. The guys that are playing the best go. We got a tough season to start. I want the best guys going. And you look at, what's his name? Coach's name, manager's name.
John Schneider.
Schneider, you don't even give me a lineup yet. You can't even give me a lineup yet. Okay, so what are you going to tell me? Bring the best guys. I don't care about this guy's reputation. This is a brand new season, a brand new time. We want the baseball experience. That's winning, mofo. Come on. And you want to really make us happy on Canada Day, you sign Bo and Vladdy on the same day. Because they're going to have such great seasons, you're going to have no choice but to sign these guys.
I hope.
Aren't I optimistic?
Yes, you are.
Because baseball's a long season, and I hate when it sucks. You know?
Speaking of sucking, the owners want the Tampa Bay Rays to sell. Their new stadium deal in Tampa looks like it's dead.
Yes.
So they got nowhere to play.
They're playing in Steinbrenner for the season,
yes,
right?
the Yankees facility.
Yeah, that's a great facility. Perfect for Tampa Bay.
My buddy Massimo went there, yeah.
Yeah, they say it's a great place to go. One other thing I wanted to say, though, is that this is before we go on to the rest of the league, and this could be interesting how it works out. They better bring this Vladdy thing to a, like get it out of the press. No more talking about it. It's going to haunt the team. Did you hear there's only $50 million difference?
I don't buy that it's going to be a distraction or anything like that.
I hope it isn't either, so let's not talk about it in this respect. Word around the campfire now, everybody's getting the leaks out because everyone talks, so everyone wants to look ahead. Apparently the contract was for 12 or 14 years. The only difference in money was $50 million. Wait a second here. You're talking 12, 14 years and $50 million, and you guys couldn't get this straight? Something's fishy.
I don't know.
Think about it. No, really.
$50 million's a lot of money, though.
$50 million over 14 years? You're going to sign the guy for 12 or 14?
$50 million is $50 million.
Okay, so they didn't want to give him. They only wanted to give him $500, not $550. Who's lying? Now I'm saying exact numbers. It wasn't Soto money. Wasn't Soto money. So they could have signed him last year for 8 years for $400 million. That was the going rate at the time. And they go, we'll get back to you, Vladdy. Now it's $100 million more. So Shakins, you guys are really doing a good job putting those fucking bubble gums into that bubblegum machine, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to come around and it's going to start talking, especially if Vladdy gets off to a hot streak or if Vladdy gets off to a shitty streak, which I don't think so. I think him and Bo are looking good in camp. They're going to come out. They're going to be swinging. What's going to happen at the trade deadline? Are we going to be the drama team of the league? That's what I don't want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's get this over, get the lineup.
Well, we're going to get peanuts for those guys because position players don't net big returns.
You're killing me. Go ahead.
So, yeah, the Tampa Bay situation. Do you think they're going to be forced to sell?
Who's going to buy him?
Nashville wants a team.
Nashville has come out of nowhere. Since you told me about that, all I hear is Nashville. Where are they going to play?
Well, there's been like rumblings last few. Well, they have a minor league ballpark that they could use for now. And all they need
only seats 18,000.
Okay, but then all they need is like a promise of like an arena or stadium down the road, and that's it.
They got money in that state.
There you go.
They got money. So.
I think Orlando has a stadium that they could use.
Really?
I think so.
What stadium in Orlando?
They might have to use the football stadium for the time being, but like again, all you need is a commitment to build one.
We'll have to wait and see. I think Tampa's dead in the water now, though. I do. Like they've done everything they could.
Yeah, Nashville or Orlando seem like the top two.
And the word around the campfire because of the hurricane.
The roof, yeah.
Yeah, like the rebuild it is insane because the whole structure's fucked.
Gonna take years.
Yeah, to do it, so they should start from the ground up. I feel bad for Tampa Bay because they're an organization that can compete every year, considering the resources they have. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they have trouble drawing, but apparently their TV numbers are really strong.
Yeah, that's what I hear, and they say, you know what that helps too is that the snowbirds haven't gone home yet, so there's a lot of them that like baseball, so. That could be it. I don't know. The only thing is, I just hope they're not as competitive, so the Jays can jump another team in our division. So I'm not looking for anything positive for them, but I do respect what they've done in the last 20 years. Come on,
sure. You know. Also, we should be talking about the impending lockout.
Oh, okay. We're gonna bring this up one more time. We're gonna have a debate. BOH is gonna be one of the subjects that come up when we do our pre-production meeting. Is the salary cap or not the salary cap? That's what it's going to boil down to, bro. That's what's going to do the lockout. And every day you hear something different. Now, where's Tampa Bay? Look at where Tampa Bay is right now. What are they going to say about a hard cap floor? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are the players going to say? And for some reason, the baseball union's the strongest of them all. And it's local money that supports them, and they're not near as big as they used to be, even though their fans are pretty steady. Like, where are they going to get all the money to pay for all this? With the TV contract, say the team starts sucking. Say the imbalance gets too great. Dodgers win every year. Everyone gets bored. So I think there's going to be some big talk about salary cap, but I don't know how that's going to work.
I think they'll find a way.
That's going to be part of the lockout, maybe? But that's owners, so how can you have lockout, salary cap?
I don't think this is going to be directly related to the impending lockout, but I think this will be a minor issue relating to the lockout.
Well, part of the reason is that the players' union can push back saying they don't want a salary cap.
Even though I think it would be better for them.
Well, it'd be better for what they say, the rank and file, the middle guy, and less, which usually turns it that way because they're the majority of the players anyway.
Exactly. That's how you make more money.
Well, that's what they're going to say, but it's going to be interesting because they're headed for a lockout after 26. Mm. There's going to be
after this season. 26 is going to be the lockout.
Is it 26?
I think it's next summer.
Oh, is it next summer?
I believe so.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, it's all right. This is 25.
Yep.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. Well, all of these issues are going to come up. They're all going to be put in one basket. They're going to shake and say, we better figure this out, including the RoboCop stuff. I mean, the robo
umpire.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. Like all.
Well, I think the challenging thing helps fix that. I think that kicks that can way down the road if you could just challenge.
You think so?
Yeah.
They're not using it this year, eh?
I know.
They're gonna say, and they
but they're using it in the minors. They used it since last year,
and they're gonna keep the stats. They're gonna keep the stats on it. That's number one, and I can agree.
It's been very successful in the minors, so
I'm saying it's 2 years away at least, and that'll come up during that thing.
Probably, if they do play next season, I bet you'll be in the league. It'll be implemented.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm old. I hope it's not, but the way that technology's going, I can't deny the fact that, probably you're right.
Last item for baseball, unless you have anything. Mike Trout, left field DH this season.
I did not keep him on my fantasy team. I did not keep him this year. I got him on a good deal 3 years ago, and I got fleeced. He's played 100 games since.
Ooh.
So I don't want to keep the guy, and I've got top draft choice. I could probably draft him early again. Well, what if he comes out and has a 41-20, 320 year?
I wouldn't believe it.
He's only, 31?
No, really?
32?
I guess,
He's
yeah.
not that old.
Yeah, but that body is way older.
It's just this guy's a generational player that can hit the wall. Like he's having right now. Was he a Hall of Famer as you speak?
I think he is a Hall of Famer still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great.
How many
player.
MVPs does he have?
I don't know.
How many home runs does he hit? Like the defense, the stolen bases. Like he was a 5-tool player.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. No. Maybe it's just that you know how they are about like your longevity. How long did you play?
Yeah, but he was like one of the best players in the league for like a decade.
Nah, he never even played 10 years straight. He was too beat up. But he was a good player for 5-6 years. He was like perennial best player in baseball. So
even then, like for 5 years, he was the best player in the league. That's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Famer.
I just think it's a drag. I hope he plays.
I hope so too.
I want him to play just because he's a great player, and I hope he gets a play in the playoffs. The guy's never played 1 year in the playoffs.
Once.
Yeah. The Ken Griffey syndrome.
Yep.
Whatever the case may be. Good luck, Mr. Trout.
Anything else?
No.
We'll move.
Previews coming.
We'll move this over to the PWHL where they had their trade deadline. Only one trade was made. Toronto traded forward Caitlin Willoughby to Montreal for defenseman Anna Kajelbin. It's a little bit of a minor move, just a little bit depth move for Toronto. Kind of funny on trade deadline. It's apples and oranges here between the NHL and PWHL, but it is still a startup league.
No, and I think that they're doing fine. And as a matter of fact, I think coming down the stretch that the interest is rising, not waning, which is a good thing.
Yes.
You know?
Toronto, unfortunately, fell to Minnesota 2-1 in overtime this past week. But they will be back in action on Wednesday against New York.
Well, that's a game that they got to win.
Yeah. Need the 3 points.
Yes, they do. And not only that, to keep them so they get the home playoff series when the playoffs do come. Because we're down to, 7-8 games left? And you know what?
Maybe like 10?
32 game schedule, right?
30.
30.
How many are they at?
They're at 23, 24.
Oh, yeah, so there we
only
go.
got 8 goals. So that means Toronto's got 7 games left. They're only 1 point up on Minnesota and Boston. But I do think that they have the scoring, and now that we got, what's her name back? That's made a difference. Spooner. But that was a great game the other night. They lost in overtime. The Minnesota goaltender stood on her head. Did you see any of the game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she played very well. I thought she was the difference in the game. Love those Minnesota uniforms. I can't stop saying that. But I thought Toronto was going to sneak that one out. I thought they were going to.
I thought so too.
I thought they were going to get it, and they didn't. But anyways, and Minnesota needed it more because they got to figure about a month ago we were talking about. They're going to be them in Montreal. We're going to be the home team, and then we always got the Serge. Boston's really come on, though, eh?
Yep.
They're coming on and they got a game in hand.
It's going to be an interesting playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. But Boston's got a game in hand, so I think Toronto's got to win on Wednesday night against New York. I want to still say their top 3 girls are still leading the league in scoring. Got the best scoring defense.
Hannah Miller.
Yes. And the Faust girl, the hockey's gotten back. Yeah, the hockey has gotten good. Give it a look. I'm looking forward to the playoffs, which is only starting, I think just a week before, right?
They're going to be on their international or whatever, their World Championship break soon. They come back for the Final 4 games.
Oh, right, that's right,
and then
the Final
playoffs.
4, yeah. That's coming up any time now, isn't it? The World.
A few weeks away.
Away. Yeah, because we're in the middle of March. Ooh, time keeps on slipping into the future. Anyways, Toronto, stay there. We want you in the playoffs. Maybe we'll get to a game.
Hopefully.
No, can't get there. Hey, and you know what? It's been sold out. I've been checking the numbers, but I look at the Toronto games there. There looks like some papering. Like we should be able to. Next time you watch the game and they keep going around, consistently look at the crowd instead of the ice. Okay? Because then you'll say people could be leaving their seats, people are coming back. I'm nuts like that. I watch shit like that. Okay, so after I watch, I go, keep seeing. No, nobody's in that section. Oh, nobody's in that section. Oh, nobody's in that section. You know what I mean? Like I
know, but tickets were sold out from day one. So
I think it's corporate. And maybe people don't show up. Give us the tickets because I've seen some. You know what I mean? Next time you watch the game and just and keep your eye on the same section as they're going around. Because sometimes like at a Leaf game, I was gonna see nobody sitting there. 3 minutes later, it's full. Well, sometimes I've noticed in the Toronto, and I also noticed it in the Montreal game when I was looking at the crowd too. there was sections, like 3 rows that nobody's there. Why are nobody sitting in those 3 rows? But they're sold out. Could be Pepper. Doesn't matter. They're on TV. The quality of the games are great. Should be a good playoffs. And Toronto, get the home field advantage.
Absolutely. And we'll move this over to our soccer report, where another Toronto team is in action. Toronto FC, they lost 2-0 at Cincinnati FC last weekend, but they will be back in their home opener this Saturday against Chicago Fire FC. That's today at 2:30, and a few of our friends at the House That Happens will be in attendance there. We know that.
Well, they say they are. They might not. It's rainy day. Because we're all going to see the Hendricks Experience tonight. That's the battle with it, but that's another story.
We'll move this over to Premier League, where Arsenal and Chelsea, that's going to be my game of the week. It's one that Chelsea desperately needs. They're up into 4th place now. I mean, they just need to hang in there for one of those Champions League spots, I suppose. But you look at the table, Liverpool with a 15-point lead over Arsenal. Arsenal with 55 points. Then it's Nottingham Forest with 51. Chelsea with 49. And Manchester City and Newcastle both at 47. Brighton 46. After that, it becomes quite the dogfight.
Yes, it is. Now, okay, can you explain something to me before we go on?
And before I finish this, so and the league will be off until April 1st because next weekend is international break.
Okay, so what happens now is that Liverpool can't win the
Champions League.
Okay, but so they can't win the Triple Crown. So what's a Triple Crown? Like, so now
the treble, they call it.
Whatever the hell it is. I'm learning more, okay? So this is one of my learning experiences, just like you listeners out there. Maybe you're going to learn something too here. And Zach, don't make no jokes about it. So, Premier season ends, there's no playoffs.
No.
Okay, so that means just those top 4 teams, they get to go to Champions League, all right? So, when you get the triple, that means as soon as they win this season, that's 1, would be their 1.
Yeah.
2 would be Champions League. And what's the other one?
So there's the FA Cup, which is their domestic cup. They're out of that, but then there's another cup. It's called the EFL Cup. It's only for the top 4 tiers in England, and they're in the final of that. That's in a couple weeks they play that.
Man,
there's also other trophies you could potentially win, like Super Cup and like UEFA Super Cup.
Too many trophies.
Yeah.
Too many trophies.
Those ones aren't like, usually it's like, if you consider the treble, it's like Champions League, your league, and your domestic cup.
And your okay. So there is a domestic cup.
Yep.
Okay, so how many teams get to play in that? 8?
Oh, way more. So for Italy, it's the top 4 leagues. For England, it's basically like their whole football association gets to go in. And basically, like, as you go on, it's like higher and higher teams get in. So, like, if you're like the top 8 in Premier League, you basically go right to the round of 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means like the division.
And then like the lower ones kind of play their ways out earlier, and then they kind of move their way.
So is this like Division 2 in soccer too? Every soccer.
They're all in there. For Premier League, basically. Yeah.
What?
For Premier League, it's like all of the tiers get to play their way in.
So that means J.J. Watt's Bournemouth team could get a chance at this?
Yeah, they were in there.
They were in there? Okay. I get confused. So everyone gets a chance 1 year, right? At one time of the year if it's domestic.
Yeah.
So what happens if you win the domestic? You just win that, doesn't get you into Champions or anything else, does it?
No, there used to be a cup. They used to call it Cup Winners' Cup for UEFA.
Stop it. There's too many cups as it is.
But it's prize money.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get that part.
And you get a little thing on your jersey the next year. That
says yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't. Well, that's cool. I'm digging that. I just like the fact that you can be. The thing about soccer that when those super leagues came up, and I thought that was kind of cool, but got kiboshed by that chunky guy that used to have the late night show. Is that
I don't think he was the one that kiboshed it.
No, but I think everybody did because it's the spirit of the game. Come on, man.
I just think they were like, you're going away from us. You're costing us money. Fuck you. I think it was more of that than anything.
It's brewing again, though, right? Saudis
so they say.
The money changed everything. I heard the money's brewing around. But I hope it doesn't happen. As a sports guy, I hope it doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying.
I'll be down either way.
Okay. Well, you're a career guy. I'm just trying to get on this boat. You know what I'm saying? Okay, continue.
So speaking of like domestic cups, I got to say, one of the stories of the year that we haven't really talked about is Empoli. They are in 18th right now in Serie A. But they are playing for the semifinal of the Coppa Italia, which is the furthest they've ever been in that tournament.
So are they on a heater?
In that tournament, they were.
They still
are. So they're playing Bologna in a couple weeks, and then Italy, it's weird. So it's all of them are one leg, except for the semis, which is 2 legs.
Oh man!
And then
I'm
the
gonna
final.
need it. You got a Cole's notes and all this. Can you give me the Cole's notes book on this? I'm just getting ready. I'm loving Champions League. I'm just trying to figure out everything that's going around it. And there's more cups and more whatever. You know what I mean? I go, oh, but okay, continue. So they're in 18th place
in Serie A.
Okay, got you.
But they're in the semifinals of Coppa Italia.
Unbelievable.
So they're and the crazy thing is they're like 18th in Italy. That's a relegation spot.
Yeah.
So they could potentially win Coppa Italia and still get relegated. Although they're not too far out of like you have 17th. Like they're only 3 points back of being safe. So a lot can change, a lot can happen. But shout out Empoli, and I'm rooting for you.
I am too, just because I think that's really, really cool.
Last week, my game of the week for Serie A was Juventus and Atalanta. And Juventus got smacked in their own home 4-0.
Yes.
To use your words, Atalanta went in there and stole their weed.
Yes, exactly. But you know what? They were probably pissed because of what happened in Champions League.
Well, Juventus should have been pissed too.
Yeah, but okay, it doesn't matter. Like I wasn't surprised at that score. They probably took it out on Juventus. That's what I'm saying, because I thought they had a chance to go on, but we'll talk about that later. Continue.
My game of the week this week, I'll keep with Atalanta. They are playing Inter at home tomorrow.
Yes. Huge game. That's tomorrow?
Yes, it is.
Huge game.
Inter leads Serie A with 61 points. Napoli is right behind with 60. Atalanta with 58. After that, it's a bit of a gap. Juventus, 52. They're in the last Champions League spot with Lazio and Bologna, 51 points and 50 points directly behind them.
A little bit tight.
Oh, it's getting tight. In La Liga, so last weekend, my game of the week was Barcelona-Osasuna. That was unfortunately delayed because Barcelona's first-team doctor died right before the match.
That's sad. I heard that. That's very sad. I was sorry to hear that.
My game of the week this week will be Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. That'll be on tomorrow. Looking at
That's a huge game, eh?
Number 1 versus number 3,
yeah.
and only 1 point separating the two.
And you got Barcelona to win the Champions League, right?
I do.
Yep. Good for you.
Barcelona's up at the top with 57. They have a game in hand on Real Madrid, who's also at 57. Then Atletico Madrid, 56. Athletic is in that final Champions League spot with 49 points.
That's the tightest league, or seems to be the most interesting right now.
No, Serie A.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Well, you're Italian.
No, it's a lot tighter, just like from like first to like 8th.
That's true.
After La Liga, after number 3, there's a bit of a gap. In Bundesliga, my game of the week is VfB Stuttgart versus Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen trying to hang on to their championship hopes. Bayern leads the league with 61 points, and then Leverkusen with 53. After that, Mainz 05 with 44, and Eintracht Frankfurt with 42.
I think Bayern Munich's just going to run away with this. They already beat those Leverkusen guys in Champions, and then they beat them in the league, didn't they? All in the last month.
Yeah, but now the thing is, like, Bayern Munich, they got some Champions League games, so your roster's going to be stretched a little thin. Bayer Leverkusen, I don't think they have any other competitions that they got to keep up with. So all their roster's going to be focused on
this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Could be interesting.
No, I still say Bayern Munich.
They're probably still going to win, but
they're a good team.
Don't count out Bayer Leverkusen. In Ligue 1, we have Le Classique this weekend. PSG versus Marseille, the top 2 teams in the league. PSG, although with a comfortable 16-point lead over Marseille, 65 points for PSG, 49 for Marseille. Nice in that final Champions League spot with 47 points, with Monaco, Lille, and Lyon all on their tail.
What's the game of the week there?
PSG, Marseille.
Oh.
Le Classique.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll try to keep my eyes open on that.
But then, of course, the big one this week was Champions League. So, to my knowledge, well, I guess to my knowledge at the time, I didn't know this. I know this now. There is no more away goals rule for tiebreakers in the 2 legs, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, in a weird way.
It was a weird tiebreaker.
Yes. But it's better than a coin flip.
Yes.
Let's get to that.
Barcelona beat Benfica 3-1 at home. They win 4-1 on aggregate. Rafinha had the brace. Yamal with a beautiful top corner goal in that one.
Yeah, I seen that in the highlights. That was a great goal.
Inter beat your boys Feyenoord 2-1. They take that one 4-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance. Inter is the better team. Leprechauns and unicorns just can't do it.
No. Liverpool lost at home to PSG 1-0. That game, or that series, was 1-1 on aggregate. Went to penalties, where PSG won 4-1. Liverpool, the only player to score for them in the shootout was Salah. Meanwhile, PSG made all 4 of their shots, and Dembele had the lone goal for PSG in that one.
That's just weird because you know what? 9 out of 10 times, like, what did Liverpool do wrong against this team? And this
They
was
didn't
at
score.
home. Yeah.
They didn't score at home.
Yeah, and they had lots of chances. I thought, like, I didn't expect them to be gone this quickly in the Champions League. It's kind of disappointing.
It is disappointing, although we alluded to the fact that they still have a chance at the double with Premier League and EFL Cup, which they will be in the final in soon.
That's nice, but I'm looking at champions right now, and I'm thinking,
the double's still a big deal in football.
No. I'm just switching to Arsenal.
Hold on, I have them a little bit down my list. Yep. Arsenal 2, PSV 2, so Arsenal takes the 9-3 on aggregate.
They took the day off.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, they just, it was cold. I watched
remember what I was saying before about PSV?
6-0.
Hold on. If PSV made that first goal, like early on that first game, I think that game would have been way different.
But they didn't.
And
they gave up how many goals after that?
Okay, but I'm just saying it's not just Arsenal taking the
day
off.
By circumstances.
You gotta give PSV credit here.
Okay. They tied at home. Good for them.
Bayer Leverkusen fell 2-0 to Bayern at home. That series was 5-0 in aggregate. Kane and Alphonso Davies were the goal scorers in this one.
And both nice goals, by the way.
They were
solid goals.
Lille fell at home 2-1 to Dortmund. Jonathan David had the 5th minute goal to put them ahead 2-1 in aggregate, but then Dortmund scored twice in the second half to take the lead, and they did not look back.
I don't think they're going any farther, though.
Dortmund? Never know.
They're playing Barcelona.
Upsets happen.
Okay.
Aston Villa beat Club Bruges 3-0. They win that series 6-1 in aggregate. Bruges had a red card in the 16th minute, which pretty much sealed their fate.
Yep.
Atletico Madrid beat Real Madrid 1-0 at home, but on aggregate it was 2-2. They went to penalties, where Real Madrid won 4-2. Gallagher scored in the first minute of that one for Atletico Madrid to make it interesting. Then there was the controversial double tap penalty called off by VAR.
I didn't get that. I watched it about 6 times on the highlight, like the double the hand thing?
No, he kicked it twice.
Yeah.
It's not loud. But landed a lot. Now there might be changing the VAR rules because it was a little weird.
Yeah, I took me a while to wrap my head. What's going on here? Oh, you can't. What? Well, can you do that? Oh no, you can't do that. And I seen an offside too again that made me go weird, like how they do that. But that's another story because this is soccer.
What's wrong with offsides?
Sometimes they're freaking close. They should do that angle.
We're seeing the same thing in hockey, Cruz.
That VAR thing should be a little tighter. I don't know.
It should be a little tighter. They have hundreds of cameras.
And they still don't get it right sometimes. To me,
when?
I forget which game it was, but the guy's arm was over, and then they said it wasn't. And I didn't even
Your arm doesn't matter. It's your chest, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I learned after.
Yeah.
I just went, what? I was confused. But this double kick shit, I'm still not. I'll go and learn in the record book, but I didn't get that at all. I was confused. And they all have accents when they were explaining it to me, so it even made it worse. You know what I mean? I had all the games on. The games rolled. It was great. I had the box, and I could see the highlights, and it was going on, and I could see what was going on here, but I went, whoa. I felt bad for Atletico Madrid. I really did.
Oh, well, they can suck it up. They'll be back next year.
Yes, they will.
So now we have the quarterfinal matchups. Leg 1 will be April 8th through 9th, and Leg 2 the week after, April 15th through 16th. So on one side of the bracket, we have Bayern versus Inter. So an interesting thing there is that Inter has a Coppa Italia match between now and then. So their roster is going to be spread real thin, and their Coppa Italia matches against Milan. So there's going to be a lot of pressure to win that one. So
interesting.
How they go about the roster decisions between that, and they're in a scrap too for the Serie A title. So
yep,
interesting. So you could be going from the treble to nothing for Inter, depending on how things go. Also on that side of the bracket, Barcelona versus Dortmund. On the other side, it's Arsenal versus Real Madrid and PSG versus Aston Villa.
So that means Barcelona and Bayern Munich have to play in the semifinals?
Or Inter. I think it's going to be Inter.
You think Inter's going to beat them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bet you a beer.
Okay.
I'll take the Germans and their German beer. I don't think I think they're going to win. Like they look like German engineering to me when I see them play. You know what I mean?
Have you watched Inter play?
No, they're good too. But you know what I like about Inter? I like their attack team. I like the way they play. They kind of attack. You know, like they go forward. That's why it's going to make this game interesting because some teams play that circle defense, or I don't get what it's doing. They get ahead and they almost play like in a box. They kick it around in the box.
Well, that's more possession style.
Yeah, whatever that is. And then if they get a seam, then they go for it. If not, they'll just keep kicking around.
Barcelona plays like that.
Yeah? Is that what I've seen? I don't know. They get around, it drives you nuts. But when you do it well, you win the game.
Yep.
That's the name of the game. So, and that's the rules. Everyone's playing by the same. I should just shut up.
So I'm going to say Inter, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Aston Villa. I'm going to call an upset there.
Aston Villa upset?
Yeah.
I'm liking Aston Villa too, but I'm
PSG going to the semis in Champions League. Some things just don't go together.
I'm saying that Arsenal will be the team. I'm on with the Gunners. I'm with the Gunners. I don't know why, because they wear red.
No, because they have a cannon in their logo.
Oh, that's even better. That's good. I think that's going to be. You think that's a bigger game than Bayern Munich and Inter?
Who?
I think that
Arsenal, Real Madrid.
I think that's because
Yeah,
I think that Barcelona
1A, 1B. They're both huge. Those are both huge matchups.
I think Barcelona is going to have no problem beating Dortmund, and I think Aston Villa. I'm not looking at that as an upset because Aston Villa's been playing great in the last couple months, so I can see them taking them out. But Bayern and Inter is going to be interesting. Yeah, that should be good. But I'm liking Bayern Munich. So that means a final could be Bayern Munich and Arsenal, right? Yeah,
could be.
Oh, that's what I'm betting on.
Okay.
That's what I'm betting on.
So we also have international break next week, like I alluded to before. Canada will be playing Mexico March 20th in the CONCACAF Nations League semis at SoFi with a potential gold medal game 3 days later. USA and Panama are in the other semi.
Yes. That's when we're playing Mexico, right?
Yeah.
We've beaten them, though, haven't we?
We've had their number recently.
Yes, but okay, that's going to be a tough game. Wouldn't that be great if we did? We go to the finals?
That'd be awesome.
Yes, it would be. Come on, Canada, let's go. Is our Davies guys coming home to play that too, right?
I think so. They announced what the rosters were. I haven't seen them yet, though. And then for UEFA Nations League, it will be the quarterfinal. The two legs are March 20th and 23rd as well. So we will have Spain, Netherlands, Croatia, France, Denmark, Portugal, and Italy, Germany. And these will help determine some of your groups for the World Cup qualifying.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
So
that's why I have an international break.
We'll keep an eye out on that. Anything else for soccer?
No, but it's been a good week. It was a good week if you're a soccer fan. I just figured that out because the guys on TV told me, check this game and that game. And I looked. Then when you go look at the numbers, like where people located in the history of the game, you go, oh, yeah, that's a big game. That's a big game. But Bayern Munich and Inter should be a great game. When we get there, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Or 3 weeks, just over 3
weeks.
We
keep an eye on that as we move on to the NBA and our latest edition of the Power Rankings.
Oh, interesting week.
Are you ready or should I begin?
Go ahead. First of all, shouldn't we say that the marketing people in the NBA have really kicked it up since the Four Nations Cup?
How so?
I don't know if they put out a memo. But I don't notice there's not a lot of guys are sitting.
That's not marketing. That's
well, they must have said something about it because something about the games have tightened up. There's a lot of good games in the last week, better games than we've seen all year, which bodes well for the playoffs.
Or it's just guys getting tuned up for playoffs.
And so then they were frauds for half a season. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what you're saying.
I could say a little more, but I won't.
Number 10, I have the New York Knicks. Number 9, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 8, back on my power rankings after falling out, I got the Memphis Grizzlies. Number 7, I imagine I'm going to get some pushback from you on this one, the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, please.
Number 6, I got the Houston Rockets. We're looking pretty good all of a sudden. Number 5, down a little bit, I got the LA Lakers after a rough week. Number 4, the Denver Nuggets. Number 3, the Boston Celtics. Number 2, number 1 in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And number 1, winners of their last 16 in a row now.
Beating Memphis last night.
Yep, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, that's pretty quick, but I just said I can't believe you got the Warriors that high. I got them at number 10.
They've had a great week, though.
That's what I said, so I'm going to give them the time of day. So they're my number 10. The Rockets have seemed to be riding it. Fred VanVleet's coming back. I got the Rockets at number 9. I got the Bucks at number 8 because I can't figure out what the Bucks are doing. Like, they look good one game, and then they're flat as hell the next. They better tighten their shoes up going into the playoffs because they could do it. The Greek Freak's having a very quiet, great season. And it wasn't for SGA and the Joker. He should be given consideration for MVP. He's having that good of a season. Number 7, I have the Knicks, begrudgingly.
Whoa, that's high.
Well, because I think the Warriors have I just had a flash here. I think in a 7-game series they get smacked, so I didn't want to put them higher than the Knicks. And the Rockets have been free falling. That's why I put them at number 9. Then it gets interesting. Number 6, I have the Lakers. Number 5, I have the Grizzlies. Number 4, I have the Nuggets. Number 3, I have the Celtics. Number 2, I have the Cavs. Number 1, I have OKC. 1 and 2 could go the either way. Now, the thing about Cleveland is you got to give them credit for. They started the season 15-0. They got a 12-game winning streak in between, and now they got a 15 games. Is it 16 games?
16 now.
So they've had a 15-12 and a 16-game winning streak. I don't care who you played because they said this is their weak part of the schedule. I don't care if it's a weak part of the schedule. They won 16 in a row, and they went into Memphis to win their 16th game.
They could have lost every other game besides those win streaks, and they'd still be in great shape.
Oh, no doubt about it. And this DeAndre Hunter guy is really, really...
great pickup.
Yeah, like he's at it defensively and offensively on both things. However, I will be honest with you, and it's got to be said sooner or later here.
Uh-oh.
I hate the Celtics with the passion. Let's just get that to the chase here, okay? I hate these guys. But I'm going to tell you now, when they repeat, I'm not going to be surprised because...
Me neither.
Not at all. Like when they come to play, and like we talked about it before, let's put the period on the sentence because I got to double down and try not to be a hypocrite here because he went to Duke too. But this Jason Tatum guy, like why don't we... You know what I heard the best thing about Jason Tatum is why he doesn't get it? He's a drama-free player.
Yeah, good point.
Drama-free.
100%.
Is that what it is? Brings his kids to the game, goes home and has dinner with mama, and plays as good as anybody. Like, tell me 5 guys in the league that are better than Jason Tatum right now. Not a chance. The guy, and both ends of the floor, and shooting the 3. Like, the guy's like all world, and he'll get no consideration for MVP whatsoever because he plays for the Celtics, which is cool because I hate them too. But in context of the all drama all the time in the NBA.
Last year, he should have gotten a lot more consideration
You're
for
damn
MVP.
right. And like I said, I think sometimes Boston's coasting because everyone's giving them their best shot because they're the champions and they know how to win. They know how to get there. They've been in either the conference finals or the finals how many times in the last 5 years? And then they've now gone over the top. So I'm still saying that even though they're number 3 on my power list, I'm going to have a rough time seeing anybody beat them in 7 games. Another crazy thing about them is when you start looking at the numbers, okay? Boston shoots the most threes in the league, which I hate, but they also have the highest percentage of making threes in the league, which is and a top 10 defense.
Dangerous combination.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. And nobody 3 has all 3 of those metrics. Like OKC is top 5 defense, top 5 offense, but they're all over the board when it comes to 3-board.
Yeah, it's not really their game.
Yeah, right. Same with Cleveland, same with Denver. Denver's a team that I'd really look over, but shouldn't we say now that...
Well, hold on, one more thing about Boston. Like, they're one of those teams, we mentioned this before, like, even if they do have a bad shooting night, like, they'll just be right back the next game.
Exactly. You know,
and they know it, too.
Okay, so what they did is they shot 10% less against OKC when they lost to OKC the other night. But they tried to force a 3. OKC stuck with their game. They pulled it out and won. What's it going to happen over 7? I think that'd be an amazing series, though. OKC and Boston in a 7-game would be just amazing. But the Celtics are something else, and they don't even have Porzingis in the lineup yet.
No.
So
there might be some issues with him.
That's what they're saying. So do you think that right now you got to say that SGA is a presumptive MVP?
No question.
That he should be.
It's all but locked up at this point.
What's that?
It's all but locked up.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one thing I can say. But what I'm looking for now is when you got the Warriors up on your 6 on the list, I think you're going 7 on the list. I think that's only going to climb because one of the things I've done during the week is I've looked at these motherfucker schedules. You know, if you look at the Warriors' next 10 games, they only play 3 teams that are over 500, and they got all those teams at home. And the rest of the teams, they play slugs. They play Toronto. They play Sacramento. They play San Antonio. They play Brooklyn, I think. So all of a sudden, with the run they're going to have, they're going to win more, and they're going to climb up the standings. But I predict they get knocked out in the first round.
Golden State.
Golden State gets knocked out in the first round because what if they play Denver in the first round? 3 versus a 6.
I think Golden State's going to move higher, though. We just talked about what their upcoming schedule is like.
Oh yeah, they can make a move.
What if they play like a Houston or a Memphis? I think they can beat one of them.
I think the Memphis. I think they could. I don't know if they could beat Memphis in 7 games. I'm not sure about that. Right
Really?
Now. No, because Memphis, if they stay healthy, the thing is they gotta have all their players. You know what I mean? And people, they don't always have all their players. Like this.
They're such a weird team, though.
Yes, and on some nights they're so goddamn good,
and some nights they're not.
Okay, so now
that's why I'm saying, like, in a 7-game series, they're too inconsistent.
Okay, so right now, I don't think it's going to end like this because the Lakers are in trouble because the problem with the Lakers is LeBron's not going to be back for 2 weeks, and they got the opposite schedule of Golden State.
Yeah.
They play 5 teams that are playoff teams that are above 500. They got a tough schedule to go. And look at the other night. Lucas scored 45 against Milwaukee. They still lost.
Wait a minute. So I just thought of this right now. Golden State easy schedule should move up. LA tough schedule should move down.
Yeah.
Well, if Golden State gets the 3 seed, Lakers get the 6 seed.
People would be dying for that, except that it's in the first round.
Who cares?
Thank you. Then we get the
awesome series.
Get one of those teams out of the way for the rest of the year, so we don't have to talk about them for the rest of the year. Okay, I'm good with that. Either way, you're gonna look at it. But yeah, they're definitely gonna do that. Yeah, 5 of their 8 next games are under 500, and the other 3 they've got them at home, so that should be good. The thing with the Lakers is it's not that LeBron's out, but the Hayes guys and Hachimura, who are their two Hachimura, they're 2 other bigs, if you want to call them bigs, 6'9", 6'10", they're on the sidelines too. So it's got to be coming back. But like if they go 500 the next week, because look at Houston suddenly poked their head up.
Yep, they had a good week, very good week.
Now, right now, it would be like that 3 against 6. You'd have to look at Golden State and their experience against Houston would be a factor. However, do you see the size of Houston as compared to the size of Golden State? That would have to catch up with them somewhere along the line. You know what I mean? They're big up front. They can bang. Like, who's going to get the boards if Golden State ain't shooting? So I'm still saying I'm predicting Golden State will be out in the first round. That's my call right now, even though they wouldn't do it. And look at Memphis. They've suddenly turned it around out of nowhere because they were struggling. Now they're back. They're in a home thing. So what if they play Los Angeles in the first round?
I think they lose.
Or what if they play Golden State in the first round? Like, what if Golden State moves up? Say the 4th and 5th end up being Memphis and Golden State. Who would you pick in that series?
Golden State.
Really?
I told you why.
Okay, we're going to have to wait and see. Not only that, our buddy, the Ant-Man, and his team is making a surge.
They've won 7 in a row. Maybe I should have had them in my top 10.
I thought about it, but I said they're not quite there yet because the Warriors are a little bit hotter, so I had to give them that respect. The Minnesota's been all over the board.
Well, maybe I should have taken out the Knicks or Bucks then.
Oh yeah, no, the Bucks are just
or the
weird.
Knicks then.
Yeah, the
Knicks they're a first round defeat. Yeah,
no, I think they're gonna win the first because if you look at who are they gonna play. Like if they were to play right now,
even if they play like in Indiana in the first round, I think the Pacers take that.
No, I think they're going to beat them because neither one of them play defense.
Yeah, but the Knicks are going to be broken down too because Thibodeau
is running them into the ground.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wait and see.
There's a lot of buzz about that this week.
Oh, huge! And the minutes that they're playing is like insane. You know, and what's New York suddenly? They're 5-5 in their last 10. Lost a couple suspect games.
Yeah.
They could get the Pistons in the first round, who would be scrappy as fuck to play. You know what I mean? Because this play-in, when you look at the play-in, none of those teams are going to do nothing in the East.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
They're all
garbage.
Get
smacked by they get smacked by Cleveland and Boston Invitational.
Oh, yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. That's going to be over, which will bring us down to the Final 4 teams, which will be, the Knicks are going to be in that mix.
In the top 6.
Yeah, but the Knicks should make it to the second round. Maybe not. Do you think Indiana could beat them or Detroit could beat them?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see how the season plays out here. They've got, only about 20 games left to go there, too. So we're going to see in a matter of time.
16,
I'm really happy for
16 games, about the same as hockey.
I'm really happy for the Detroit Pistons. The only thing I'm worried about is their lack of experience in the playoff situation.
Well, they're going to get some experience.
That's the way we're going to do it. Now, what was the other thing I wanted to bring up?
Like me.
Here's the thing about Cleveland when you were talking about this, though, that's really scary about them. Do you know that they're only averaging 30 minutes a night, all their guys? That's how much depth they got.
Mm-hmm.
So Donovan Mitchell, who's a star, he's the highest on the team. He's averaging 31 minutes, barely 31 minutes.
Wow.
All the other guys are into like the 28 to 30 mark, and look at their record. Now,
incredible.
You know what I mean? Now, OKC's is down a bit, but I mean, like, Shea's playing 35, 36. Dort's playing 30-something. They're all playing more. It's a very interesting number if you're going to look at it from that way, and they're talking about rest and how you beat up your team. Cleveland's insane. To have the record they have, which is basically the best record in the league, and they have the lowest minutes played for a starting five. Psh, what a formula. Mm-hmm. Oh, and top 10 defensive metric.
If you can get away with that, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's how deep they are. So, is that the thing that's going to wear down Boston? Is that a thing that's going to wear down, you know what I mean, if they get to the top?
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, already Boston's been going into a lot of guys are taking rest lately. The old load management. This guy's off this night, this guy. Because I think Boston's really coasting, to tell you the truth. And why wouldn't they be coasting?
Well, Cleveland, the way I would put it is like the Raptors a few years ago. Remember those years? Oh, the bench mob. We got all this depth. Well, in the playoffs, that doesn't really do much for you. It's really about just like your top, 7 guys in the playoffs?
Hopefully you can get 8.
8, yeah.
That's what you're hoping for, 8, but you're going to be there. But that's what you're going to tell you about how it's going to go, though, which makes you think about playoff experience, depth, whatever. 2 of the teams that I'm talking about, the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, those teams, like you say, what about the Grizzlies? I was really banging the Nuggets, saying these guys are going to do it. They're experienced, blah, blah, blah. But they're suspect on D. You know what I mean? Like they got high offense, low D. That's a recipe.
That's a bad formula.
It is. And then they say, oh, but I checked another number because I thought, oh, Denver's great. They're pretty good at good rebounding team. Then you look at their shooting percentage and you go, well, that's why
they're inflated.
That's why they're getting the thing was there. So you don't know what to look at it. But I think Denver is good enough to be there. Like I wouldn't, if you're playing Denver in the playoffs, you're in trouble. You're in for you're in for a banger. But I'm saying that's what might get them in the end because there's the suspect defense. And all the teams that are sitting near the top have that combination. Like if you look at Boston, OKC, Cleveland, they all have that top 10 offense, but they definitely have the defensive metrics to keep them there. And not only that, those teams are not relying on their percentage of shooting threes is in the middle of the pack like anybody else, and they don't overextend themselves on it. So that's the recipe. That's why Boston is such an outlier.
Right.
You know, when you think about it, because the amount of threes they shoot, you ever look at their numbers? Like I took a deep dive into their numbers this week. Boston's just like, you're an alien, and you took a look at what are these guys doing? Because they're all over the board metric-wise, but in a good way. But the number one thing is they don't stop shooting fucking threes.
It's working for them.
And it's the percentages of them. But what happened was the other night, which was good, is that OKC is great at pressuring them. Like when you're talking about threes, if you give a guy a straight-up corner three, come on. But it's can you harass people on the perimeter? And I did notice the other night that Boston was firing the threes, but a lot of those were contested. Like the OKC guys are one of the great perimeter defense teams in the league. So we'll have to wait and see what's happened. It's going to be interesting. I just getting tired of, like we talked about it last week, and I'm not going to say it again. I'll be happy if OKC and Cleveland make the finals.
ESPN might not be. Especially OKC.
Yeah, OKC and Cleveland. I'm cheering for that for a final because we say a great series is a great series.
Exactly.
No matter what. So we at the House That Happens going, we don't care what market you are from. We're looking for the best series we possibly can, and we're smelling a Cleveland OKC. They had the best game of the year when they played.
Well, Boston okay. Well, I said it. Boston Lakers final.
Well, that's what everybody wants. You heard what the scenarios are and what the ESPN executives are looking at, and they start slobbering over, right? First thing Lakers, Celtics, they don't have erectile dysfunction when they hear that. Let me just tell you that much. You know,
or a Celtics Warriors rematch.
Oh, they're dying for the Warriors to get there too, like the marquee guys. But that's what I'm saying. Why can't we sell SGA?
Well, eventually, if they do end up being like this perennial contender kind of team, then it's going to sell itself.
That's what we're hoping. But they say a market like OKC could never do it because it's so small.
Well, when they had Durant and Westbrook, they were okay.
But they never got over the top, did they?
No, but they got numbers on TV.
Yes, they should, and I think they should now too. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping, to me, OKC Cleveland would probably be the best because then, first of all, Boston wouldn't be there, and that would make me happy.
Which also mentioned De'Aaron Fox is going to have season-ending finger surgery, so that basically puts the nail in the coffin on the San Antonio Spurs season. Also, there's some rumors ramping up that the Raptors are going to be moving on from R.J. Barrett this offseason.
I think that's a mistake if they do.
His defense is lackluster, though.
Well, it's getting better. His other metrics.
That's what you can sell other teams on.
No, he's how would you put it? I think he's got too much upside and he's too young. And I know what you're saying now because they got Ingram, they got Scotty Barnes, they got Graydon Dick.
Yeah, they don't need him.
That might be the guy, but they've got him under contract too, don't they?
That's why he's got value.
I don't know. I like him. I don't think his defense is that bad. And he's aggressive guy. He's still only 23, 24. I wouldn't look at it. I
would be interested to see what the return is.
And what kind of return would they want? Another big man. Would have to be another big. And who around the league is going to give up a big?
I don't know. I'm sure someone might.
Unless you could use them on draft night to take your stock a little higher and move up. That would have to be the thing because there's a couple of bigs in the draft that could be interesting. But no, I'm keeping him. Some nights he led the team. Some nights he was a guy. You know what I mean? On more nights than ever. So I'm an RJ fan. I hope he doesn't go. I know what you're saying. I keep hearing the whispering about his defense, but it's not horrible.
Well, we will see.
We'll have to wait and see. I hope he stays.
Anything else for Ball?
Just the fact that, you know what, when people say you want your team to compete, the Raptors are competing, even though Buddy scored 28 the other night, and they sent him straight back down to the G League. Mm-hmm. Anytime you have a good performance, because I still think that the Raptors are still looking at an optimum, lottery position. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're going to be there anyway, so lose less games. Why you got 20 games left? You're going to try to win them all? I don't know. Be competitive.
Exactly.
Notice that Scotty Barnes has sat a couple games lately.
Yep.
This, that, and the other thing. Brendan Ingram's got no chance of coming back this year.
Well, we knew that.
So we'll see what's happening. Good luck with the Raptors. Still getting a good crowd. Glad the city's supporting them. You know, they're still 10th in the league or 10th or 12th in the league in attendance.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Like that, so it's good. Yep.
We will keep an eye on that, and we will move this over to our favorite here at the house that happens, the NHL, where we have our edition of the Power Rankings for this league.
Oh, this is going to be a fun week to talk about hockey, isn't it?
Oh, it always is.
Yes, it is. So you want me to give you my my top 10?
Sure.
Number 10, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh.
Number 9, the Edmonton Oilers. Number 8, Tampa Bay. Number 7, Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 6, Colorado Avalanche. Number 5, Florida Panthers. Number 4, the Dallas Stars. Number 3, the Vegas Knights. Number 2, the Winnipeg Jets. And my new number 1, you sold me, the Washington Capitals.
Wow.
The Washington Capitals. And I'll tell you why. I got a bunch of reasons why. But go ahead.
My number 10 is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just had an awful week.
That's why they're at 8. But then maybe Carolina had a worse week, and maybe
Carolina had a pretty good week, I thought.
Well, I just think that now what they've done and their team's a mess. I'll give them
10. Number 9, I got the LA Kings.
Oh, they didn't make my list.
Number 8, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 7, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Got them in the same spot.
Number 6, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Really? Wow.
Number 5, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 4, the Florida Panthers. Number 3, the Washington Capitals. Number 2, the Dallas Stars. And number 1, the Winnipeg Jets. So my top 3 did not change from last week.
Well, mine did, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, when you look at Washington, they say you got to lose first to get further in the playoffs. I'm not so sure about that this year. When you look at Washington, man, like let's seriously take a look at this team. First of all, what is it? They play playoff style hockey anyway. They're already playing playoff that smothering defense. Everybody
smothering in the neutral zone too.
And so I think they will win 2 rounds in the playoffs. I guarantee.
Wow.
I think they already when they get in, they're gonna because whoever they play in the first round, they're gonna kill. But whoever they get in this
Carolina could be a sneaky one, though.
I don't know. I think because of the home advantage. I just think that they're too good.
Home ice advantage doesn't mean that much in hockey playoffs.
No, but okay. First, they're top five, which is more important than me than save percentage. They're top five teams in goals against average. They're a top scoring team. Okay, they got a top five power play, and they're top five penalty kill, and they're a 23% power play team, which just puts you in around the middle of the game. So when you got all of those metrics, says to me playoff success. They've got them across the board. Plus, they go 3 lines deep. Mm-hmm. What do they got? They got 5 guys that are going to score, probably 7 20-goal scorers when the season's out. Okay? Let's take it one step further. Carlson, Chikrin, and Sandin, which you left from Toronto, I know didn't go there, all scoring, all huge plus defensemen, all up to almost 30 minutes a night.
Yep.
That's huge when you look at it that way. And the other two, the guys that they got him paired off with, seems to work out for them. Then we got this, Logan Thompson in goal. He'll never get Vezina because that schmuck in hella schmuck is getting everything this guy, you know what I mean? We need farts, they smell it. Like, come on.
Well, and all of his numbers are better.
Oh, look at the team that he plays on. Okay, that's
look at the team Logan Thompson plays on. That's the worst argument I've ever heard.
Well, whatever. He's one of the reasons that helped to bring them up because he saved more games for them. Because
and Hellebuyck played no part in Winnipeg.
Oh, they did. He had his games too. He's solid. You got to have a good goaltender to get there. But I'm just saying this: Winnipeg might not win more than 2 rounds because they're not very deep. They're top end scoring. Okay. They're very top-ended. You look around, once you get past, they're like their top 5 or 6. They got nobody that scores. Their defense is a little banged up, so they better they got to sit those guys down, which they should to the end of the year. Morrissey and Pionk are both Pionk or whatever. Those guys have been banged up because you see the minutes they've been blogging. Mad minutes, more minutes than the Washington guys because they're more balanced out over the season. You know what I mean? Tell me I haven't been taking a deep look at the numbers this week. In any event, that's why I say when I'm looking at the 2 best teams in the league and I was doing my power rankings, I lean towards Washington because all of them, not that I'm a big analytics guy, but you watch the way they play. Winnipeg plays a little bit more wide open, which is susceptible in the playoffs.
Right.
Washington plays more stay in your lane, skate hard, and bang everybody. You know what I mean? And not only that, they got Tom Wilson as their sheriff. You know what I mean? So they don't have to worry about nothing tough. They don't have to worry about these Bennett guys or any tough guys that on any other team. They don't worry about it because Tom Wilson's going to say, deal with me first. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that guy's just 3 degrees away with Psycho with 30 goals in his stick. What more do you want in the playoffs? Ovi's been in the playoffs before. He's going to play his ass off. I just think Washington, because they always say they got to lose. You got to win, lose first to win. I don't think that. I think they've got enough veteran experience on the team, too.
What do you mean they got to lose first to win?
Like they always say, you got to have more playoff experience. Like I said,
these guys do have playoff experience, though.
I say they're going to be better than people suspect because they always, the talk is who could be susceptible to the first round knockout, all that kind of shit. I'm saying I'm taking Washington out of that picture completely. Okay, they snuck in last year. So what? They did sneak in last year. That got some experience.
Oh, it's a completely different team. They completely changed up the makeup of this team. Spencer Carberry, I think, made the point or has made his name in there as one of the best coaches in the league.
Oh, and look at the way he's got them. Yeah. And then they got Chikrin, brought him in, and his game went up. And
that's maybe their biggest pickup.
And didn't they pick up what's his name? Who got Pierre-Luc Dubois?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, he's a Selke candidate. If you want to look at it, look at that guy's game. You look at his numbers.
He's putting up a very good season.
And not only that, he's playing against the number 1 center on the other team 90% of the time he's out there. When I seen that number, I went, whoa, what? This is the guy that were kicking to the curb because he was lazy?
Yep.
What happened there?
Well, not just lazy, but there were some issues there at least.
Well, we all know about them now, but when nobody's talking about those issues now, especially when you're he's not going to win the Selke.
Probably not.
But his name should be considering, you figure his ice.
He's going to get votes.
Yeah, he should get votes. I mean, I didn't realize that when I seen Washington the other night. He was against number 1 center all the time, and he was out there killing penalties too. And he's got, 18 goals and 45 points?
I believe he's on pace for 60 points.
Yeah, he's going to have that, but he's going to have a 20-goal season. And
which we're for a defensive-minded number 2 center, that's perfect.
Now, he came in the league supposed to be a guy that could score. Remember? He was supposed to be a scorer. But, I mean, if his game is adjusted to be this type of player, he can play, he's 24? 25?
Same age as Matthews, yeah.
Okay, around that. Okay, so let's put it this way. He's got another 10 years. If he plays this type of hockey, he's got a job for the next 10 years. Because everybody's looking for guys like this all the time. So I'm impressed with that. As you can tell, I'm really high on Washington.
Absolutely. Also, got to give a big shout out to Ovechkin, I guess, as well. 9 away from breaking Gretzky's goal record. And Nathan MacKinnon became the 100th player in NHL history to score 1,000 career points.
Congrats.
Yeah, one of our favorites here at the house, Nathan MacKinnon.
Yes, 100%. And he's looking really good. There's a few other things that would that are going to come up that we should talk about for a minute. What's that?
Ekblad suspended 20 games for PEDs.
Okay, here's what we're going to say at the house that happens. I expect to see this more in all sports because it's gotten to a point now. You go do your 20 games, you do your 40 games in baseball, whatever, your 3 games in football. Learn how to flush, guys. Learn how to. That's what this boils down to. You know that, eh? You go, everyone's taking their shit for their injuries because they got those high-tech fucking whatever pharmaceuticals.
But Ekblad owned it, though.
And I'm glad he did. And every other player should come to the table and say, yeah, I didn't. You know, I want to hear the first guy come up and say, hey, I didn't flush in time. I thought the test was next week. That's basically what goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, you took this, you take off. Okay, you take an extra week. Why'd the guy take an extra week off? Because he'll miss those games instead of missing the 20 he's going to miss when he got pissed into the bottle. Pretty simple here. Like, this is going on your whole life. Come on. Now, if this happened when I was your age, this has been outrage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? This would have been, oh, my God, it's the end of hockey. What is the many games? Holy shit. And look what if they say things keep going forward. Here's a perfect example. Like, this would be, oh, he got caught? You dumbass. Should have flushed better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's basically what it's boiled down to. So should we be surprised?
No, I'm not.
So that means cheating never stops.
The history of sports is the history of cheating.
The history, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Okay. One thing I would really think would be a whole bunch of fun if Dallas and Colorado played in the first round of the playoffs.
There's a good chance of that.
There's a very good chance of that. Who would you pick in that series?
Dallas.
I would too. I don't know why, but I would do that, but
I think their lineup is just like that much more deep.
Oh, definitely. That's what I'm saying.
Their goaltending is more like it's more stable, I guess you could say. With Andre having a great season, Colorado, I understand Blackwood's been playing well since there, but going to the playoffs, you're going into unknown territory, right?
Well, I think the top end of Colorado's defense is better, but Dallas.
I'm not so sure. If Heiskanen comes back, though.
Well,
Heiskanen and Harley, those are 2 Norris candidates.
Okay, let's take
2 on one team.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. The front end of their defense looks better, but if you let me finish, I was going to say the depth of Dallas's defense is better. After you get,
I would say even their top end is arguably better.
But those 2 guys don't play. They play on different. Heiskanen doesn't play with what's his name.
Even better.
That's what I'm saying. So the depth is better. So Dallas is on there.
But like your top 4 is your top 4. Like, I mean, those guys' minutes are going to be like distributed pretty evenly in most cases.
So, but I say I would say I would rather, out of all the defense pairings, if they play each other in the first round, I'd still say the best defense pairing would be Makar and Towns. But But after that, it's all Dallas. It's all Dallas. Again, look at their 4th or 5th guys are pretty good.
I know.
They're all pretty good, and they're going to be there. Their goaltending solid. You know what I mean? And they got the lines.
4 lines deep.
4 lines deep. Like, they definitely win. Like Washington and Dallas in the finals would not be a surprise.
It shouldn't be. No.
You know? But I don't think they will because I think Washington won't be tough enough when Florida comes on. When they do their thing.
I hope Florida stubs their toe.
I don't think so.
Aiden Hill signed a 6-year extension with the Vegas Golden Knights, $6.25 million per.
That surprised me. How much is it?
$6.25 per 6-year deal.
Vegas got a steal.
You think so?
Oh yeah, that's your rule, right? Don't pay more than this. The salary's coming up, so you can raise up to $6 million.
I think it's a good deal. I wouldn't be complaining.
I think it's a better deal for Vegas. Aiden Hill's only 26?
Is he?
Is he that old? Okay, so there you go. 6 years.
I was gonna say, I thought he would have been a little older.
I don't usually, you know why? Vegas doesn't usually give that out, but the salary cap's going up, so they gave him the 6 years.
No, Vegas has given out contracts like this before. If it's especially like if it's a guy where they're like, this is our guy, they'll give him the money.
I'm pointing down. That's a guy. That for that money, I think you got.
Aiden Hill's 28, by the way.
28, 6 years at 6. Yeah, that's a good deal for both teams then.
I think so too.
Yep, that's a good deal.
Dougie Hamilton, unfortunately, out long term for the Carolina or for New Jersey.
Boo! New Jersey's in trouble all the way around,
as
far as I'm concerned. I don't see them doing anything. They're just a mess of a team. With they won the other night. They won a big game the other night, but where are they going?
They'll make the playoffs. I don't know. Like
they have to make the playoffs. Come on, there's
even for like Columbus to pass them for like that third seed in the Metro, very unlikely.
Highly unlikely. As you were saying, the Rangers is what you got to look at.
Even then, they're not going to pass New Jersey.
But you know what's interesting though, when you really think about it, and the funny things that go around the league, and he's one of my favorite guys, but the Islanders have an outside chance of getting to the playoffs.
No, come on.
Mathematically.
They sold at the deadline.
Okay, no, but this is okay. So, St. Patrick, who's the funniest guy in the league. Did you hear his quote this week?
Oh no, what now?
Okay, he was saying the same line about I got to play the cards that I am dealt.
Yeah.
Basically. What's the guy they got for Toronto? That Lou Lamoriello.
Oh, Engvall?
He brought his name up. Well, you got a contract that does, I fell off my couch laughing. Like, when you think about this, Lamoriello should have been shipped right out to somewhere else. Because he was with Toronto when you guys drafted him, right?
Engvall?
Yeah.
I think Engvall was already drafted by the Leafs when Lou got there.
Anyway, Lou fell in love with the guy.
Obviously.
Stole him from Toronto and gave. Now, it's only about $4 million.
I think it stole him. I think Toronto just like.
Oh, no. Toronto said, yeah, here you go. Thank you very much. What'd they get for him anyway? I forget. They get someone's in the system. But that guy's got 3 more years left at $4 million. That's not a lot of money. But still, they've got 6 years. What did he do to get a 6-year contract?
My rule. I don't like paying third line guys.
Okay. So, anyways, what they said was like a bridge contract because he was supposed to be one of those guys to explode into possibly 25, 30 goal scorer.
So his contract expires 2030. So he's got 5 years left at $3 million.
At $3 million, and it was supposed to be the big bridge contract that he took the money in case he didn't, because he's still only 26.
He is a little bit older than that. I think he's got to be like 30 by this point. He's 28.
Yeah, he was still under 30. So that was some kind of bridge contract.
So he's going to be 30 before you know it.
And he's still only going to give you 8 goals and -6. And that's why Patrick Roy is funny.
Remember I was saying like I wasn't crying when he was leaving?
No, I understand.
We got a third round pick back for him.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. But anyways, the reason I brought it up was kind of funny when you look at a general manager gives a deal like that and you go, what? And then the coach has got to come in and he's got to coach this player.
Remember when you were giving me shit for the Leafs trading him away?
I thought he had a chance, but I didn't realize that Lamoriello gave him that much money. I thought in the beginning, but I didn't realize he went there and he gave him that contract. I thought there was a shot at the guy could have done something. Obviously, he's not. But to give him that kind of a contract, that's what blows my mind.
It's insane.
Yeah, like give him because you got to see if the guy's going to do anything. Give him 6 years. Ooh.
Bizarre.
I think Carolina got more out of Kokamini than they got out of him.
Yeah, probably.
He's the best fourth-line center in the league.
Yeah.
He's out there. He plays his ass off.
Overpaid, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's overpaid, but they got to play him now. Whatever mistake they made to do it. But, he's not a loss out there. He's about an even player. He plays his 13 minutes a night, and he gets power play time. So I'll take him, probably the best fourth-line center in the league. And that's going to pay off for Carolina in the playoffs.
We'll see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'll move this over to the Leafs.
Not quite, because we should still be talking about this will lead into the Leafs.
Okay.
The Rantanen.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to start with. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. First of all, Carolina should just be made go stand into a corner right off the charts.
I don't think so.
Why not?
They got good return for him. They got Stankoven, who's going to be like, okay, he's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he's going to be like all rookie, whatever. And they got 2 first-round picks, 2/3 out of it. That's not too far away from what they traded away.
Okay, so I guess they're back to even. Okay, so...
And they got... Nashas didn't want to stay there anyways.
Okay, that's true. And he's looking good in Colorado, by the way.
Fine. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then they also got, what's his name, Brock Nelson, which he's looked good.
Ooh.
That was a good pickup, so Colorado's doing their thing.
They picked up another center, too, didn't they?
Yeah, they're giving it a shot. But my thing is this. This is where we're going to bring up agents to say that they're like some of my worst people on the face of the earth are freaking agents. Because wouldn't Carolina do their due diligence?
With what?
Dallas already signed. Rantanen came in, signed, bang. Out in the power play, looking good. He's looked better in 2 games with frickin' Dallas, and he's looked at 9 games at Carolina.
Carolina is showing that they're willing to take risks. They did the same thing with, they got him from Pittsburgh last year, Gensel.
And they lost him, though, right? But they didn't give up as much for that, did they?
No, but again, they recouped assets back for...
Okay, then I think you should be smarter. There's 2 good goal scorers that you had in your house, and you let them go. Okay? Whatever the case may be. And they still got a solid team. Don't get me wrong. Carolina's going to be no pushover in the playoffs. You better be ready for these guys. Big D. Yeah. Big D back there, and they hit and they score. So I'll give it to you that. But what I'm saying is due diligence is, Rantanen came in the door saying, you think I'm playing here?
I mean, it was also just bad timing, too, because they never really had, like, a solid homestand when he was there. They never really had a chance to, like, show him the city and all the other reasons. I think that plays a part. Because you need to sell guys on Carolina.
The leak is now, he walked up to the general manager and said, I'm only playing for 4 teams.
Well, that's not leak. Brindamore said this himself.
Okay, well, there you go. So what the hell, why would you take a guy like this for? What? You didn't do due diligence. Guy comes into your house and says, fuck you. Come on.
Well, I mean, in fairness,
what do you think he's going to do? Okay, well, you know what we'll do? We'll give him a pedigree.
In fairness.
We'll give him that townhouse. We'll drive him back and forth to work. We'll give him a suite. We'll give him 2 girlfriends.
We get the point.
Come on.
In fairness, I don't think they thought it would be this bad where he basically told him, fuck you right out of the gate. I don't think they were expecting that. Like, at least Gensel played ball with them last year. I think they're expecting something like that.
But then that's what I'm saying about the agent. Where was the con in this? Something went drastically wrong.
Rantanen's agent is just becoming less likable by the day.
This guy, I don't think he's going to get any more clients.
I should go on Puckpedia, find out who his agent is.
Yeah, because that guy is like he's something else. You know what I mean? And you got to look out for those guys because now who else did he have a dealing with? You should look at his roster because there's another player that got moved last year that had some suspicious angles to it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But come on, bro. You got to look at it this way. Carolina screwed up. No matter what you tell me.
Wow, so Puckpedia also has guys' sticks that they use on there too. That's funny.
What?
Like what stick they use.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. You know who's paying them off.
Yeah.
Basically. But in any event, that was so weird.
Andy Scott is his agent.
Okay, we're going to keep that name in our back pocket.
Who else does he represent? I got to know now.
Yeah, take a look around.
Patrick Laine, Draisaitl.
Oh, I knew it was Laine. I was going to say his name, but I wasn't sure. So there was some weird shit went on with Laine moving him around. He's got some real suspect guys on his team, doesn't he?
He's got 3 guys on Dallas. That's funny. Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston.
Well, he leads them there, too, because it's a tax break. That's another big thing about Rantanen signing there. It sounds like a little bit less, but the tax break is the clincher for him. That's what they said. So whatever the case may be. But how this moves, it's how the tentacles move through the world of sports. Rantanen suddenly got his name tied up with, and I'm walking his dog lately because he's probably going to go to Montreal next year, is your boy Mitch Marner. Your boy Mitch. How did Mitch Marner get mixed up in all this mess?
I think this is being blown way out of proportion. I just think it was a thing where
the fact his name come up, bro.
Okay, can I finish?
Yeah, it should be.
I think
good.
it was just a thing where like Carolina was like, hey, we'd want to do like Rantanen for Marner potentially. They go to Marner, hey, we have this potential trade. They're just doing their due diligence. I think it's just as big as that. Like people are blowing this out of proportion here.
What did Toronto say?
What do you mean?
We don't know what Toronto said. They had to go to Marner. Marner shouldn't have heard a word about this. If they wanted, they should have said Carolina.
He's got no move clause though.
Exactly.
So they're doing their due diligence.
Okay, so here's my take on it. They knock on Toronto's door. They open it up. They say Mitch Marner. Toronto shuts the door. They didn't do that.
I know it's Rantanen. It's a top winger.
That. Okay, but they didn't do that, did they? So they opened a can of worms. Because they said, Mitch, Mitch, a hometown guy who said he wants to play here forever, cuts him open, blue leaves come out of him, and they say, Mitch, in the middle of a great season, top 5 player in the league with no contract.
He's an impending free agent.
Okay, so now then they both said they're dancing together towards the end. So my theory is when they knocked on the door of Carolina and they opened the door and they said, Mitch Marner, the door should have slammed. It didn't. You created your own drama now.
I don't know. It's going to be out of the news in a week, so.
Okay, well, see, at the end of the season, when you guys lose in the first round of the playoffs, what's going to happen?
Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just saying, things in Leafland are so much fun. Come on.
How about Habs land?
We're doing great. We're going to sneak
Out of the
into it,
playoffs.
but we're only 1 point behind. Okay?
Oh, love these shitty Habs.
Okay, so you have that for now, and I hope you hope that clear to your chest because within a year we'll be talking differently. And let's talk about our Habs.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Habs as a bottom 5 team.
No, we won't. No, let's just put it this way. You know what I mean? I love this when I get under
Nick Suzuki's not a number 1 center.
Now he is. They've developed. We have a number 1 line.
Magic people. Leprechauns and unicorns.
Yes, I believe in those.
Oh, my God.
So, here's the deal. You got to look for the development of a team. The thing, what did I say about Caulfield at the beginning of the season? I thought he was getting pushed around too much.
Okay.
What happened to the guy? Obviously, last summer, he went out and freaking hit the gym. Legs bigger, wider body, he isn't getting pushed off the puck.
Right.
Great. So now he's going to score 35 goals. You're number 1 guy. Suzuki, what did he do? Suzuki put
How about Slavkovsky? I thought he was supposed to score 30 this year.
Look at him in the last 20 games. He might get 25.
No, it's not 30.
Okay, but anyways, what they've done is we've seen the actual evolution of a line in front of us. So, and we've got all those guys.
Hold on, we're not
signed.
talking about the Leafs yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. You brought up the Leafs. I'm saying, so let's just get the Habs out of the picture. I have to defend what I said. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. They become a number 1 center. But that's not the issue. Montreal's got all those guys signed because they respect them and they want to go forward with them. You guys don't know what you wanted to do with Mitch Mariner. Another team came and banged on the door.
That's not true. They offered him stuff. He said no.
What did they offer him? Nobody. That's
no
what I'm
one's saying.
Okay, so what do you think?
Oh, because they respect each other.
Okay.
Didn't leak out.
Okay, so then why did they ask him if they're gonna have a copacetic deal?
Do
on
your
this
due
side?
diligence. That's being a good GM.
Okay, so I'm saying that Tree Living should have shut the door as soon as Carolina came in. They should have shut the door. My opinion.
Okay.
That's what, because you want Marner that badly, don't you? You'll never get a Marner back. Like you're playing with
Rantanen.
Okay, right now, who would you rather have right now?
Rantanen.
You'd have rather Rantanen over Marner?
He's got goal scoring touch.
I would say the intangibles. I don't see Rantanen out there killing penalties. I don't see Rantanen setting the guys up in the slot. I don't see the two-way games. Rantanen will never be confused with the Selke Trophy. Like, look at all this stuff.
Rantanen will never be confused with the Selke Trophy.
He'll never get a Selke Trophy. Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner might not either.
Yeah, but I mean, his name's in the running every year.
That's fine.
Okay, so like I'm saying the intangibles. If I had to pick between the two of them, I'm taking Marner. You can have Rantanen. I'll take Marner. Okay, because Marner could just do more. I could say this.
I don't know about that.
So my thing is now let's get back to the present situation with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I watched the game on Thursday night. I thought it was deja vu all over again.
Why is that?
Tight game. Tight game. Little bit physical. Good goaltending. Who won?
Florida won.
Again.
Is this the playoffs?
Deja vu.
Is this the playoffs?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see, are we? Does this bode well?
I view the games like this down the stretch, I view it like preseason for the playoffs almost. It is. It's
okay.
Just, it's not about, because like at the end of the day, like winning at this point, what's it going to do for you in April and May? Shit all.
Okay, so then you do not want to win the division.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
That's not what I said.
Well, this game.
I'm just saying I'm not going to get like too locked in the results. And like in the up and then down. I've said I'm going to do that this season. I've actually stuck to that pretty well, I think.
Dr. Milani, what a great spin.
It's not spin. It's fact.
Listen, you guys should be going
We're getting our guys acclimated. Scott Lawn's been looking better and better each game.
I say he's going to be a mistake. I think Carlo will be the better pick.
No, not at all.
We'll see.
You want to dig up. All your takes about the Leafs and acquisitions, they all age poorly. This will be another one that just ages poorly.
Okay, we'll wait and see.
Signed for a $1.5 million next year. Great trade.
That's going to do, but he better show a little bit more. Okay, let's put it this way.
He's getting better acclimated to his line mates.
Okay, so
I will give you credit there. I think they should put Robertson back in the lineup tonight.
Oh God, yeah. Like there's more hustle on there. Like they're missing that hop. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But that's up to them. And I understood. They said it wasn't for a performance. We got to give the other guys a look.
Yarncrow came back. You got to give him that chance, especially because of the contract they gave him, right?
Okay, I got you there. But they made Robertson sit 2 games.
That's in the grand scheme of things. That's not that much.
At this point in the year,
it's a
playoffs
tough,
are coming.
It's a tough roster to make. That's reality of the NHL.
Okay,
you're a third line, fourth line guy in the league.
Okay,
that's the fact.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that into perspective. So here,
I would say like definitely give him a chance.
Right now, out of those 3 guys, Holmberg, what's the other guy? Holmberg, John Rock. Yark, whatever, how do you say his name, and Robertson. Out of those three, and I've watched a lot of Leaf games, I put Robertson ahead of those two other guys because he's going to get a shot off of anything. Those two other guys, they need someone they got to go dig. Someone's going to get to him. Robertson's going to get a shot off. That's what you guys need right now. Not just staying in your lanes.
Yeah, but Holmberg's one of those guys that can like do some of the like little things that like.
Robertson hasn't been hurting you defensively.
It's not about defensively. It's about like going into the corners, grabbing that puck because Robertson's a little small.
Okay, but
he's not that guy.
But he does go in the corners. He's been banging a lot more. I'm going to say
does he win those puck battles though?
50-50 all the time for his size. But I'm going to tell you this much about him. He gets into the open space and he gets shots off.
I agree, but they're
that's
not
what
always.
the Leafs need. They need that more than they need the same guy to bang.
A lot of them are like empty calorie shot attempts. I hate to say it.
So that means that Austin Matthews must have a lot of empty calorie shots this year too, right?
What are you talking about?
Because they're both look at their last 15 games. Who scored more?
No, because like Matthews generating scoring chances. Robertson, like 9 times out of 10, it's right in the goalie's chest.
Ooh, that's apples and oranges.
Well, you brought it up. You brought Matthews.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I'm putting it this way. Shots on goal. I'm saying right now that Robertson was one of the guys when he's on the ice is probably per capita shots on goal with Matthews. Matthews is a better scorer. Let's cut to the chase on that. I'm saying on your team, you need guys to fire the fucking puck. That's your problem. Too much possession, too much passing it around. What you guys do?
But what good is it if it goes right into the goalie's chest? Oh, goes into
might get a rebound. You're going to get a shot on
right
goal.
Into the chest? No.
Whatever.
No,
I'm taking that chance. You know what those guys
Robertson's good, but like he shouldn't be guaranteed to like play. I don't buy that.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at it this way. Holm and even Bobby McCann. What happened to this man?
I think they should try him on the second line. With Tavares and Nylander.
I think maybe I believe that's too. That's a better speed for him because he's getting caught with plumbers. He's way faster than they are. Okay, I get that because that was a great line, and I know you didn't like it. I still say that energy line they should have kept. I do agree that maybe the Domi, McMahon, Robertson.
Well, with Lawton now, like they moved Domi to the wing. That's the way it's got to be.
And Domi's not getting lost in the wing. Domi's playing.
I think he's playing his best hockey playing on the wing now.
Oh yeah, he's looking good. But I'm just saying this: when I watched the game against Florida the other night, what these guys did is. You guys went into the corner and you bang guys off the puck. Every once in a while, they bang you guys off the puck. Then when you got a loose puck, I didn't see anybody shooting. I didn't see Holmberg trying to get that shot off. I didn't see Jan Kruk getting that shot off. I see Robertson will just fucking fire the puck. You guys need that now. You need that scoring depth, and I don't think you're going to see it from those guys. Those guys are going to be great defensive responsibilities. They might be around to bang a goal in front of the net if they get there. I see Robertson crashing the net more than them.
He doesn't get rebound goals or goals in the slot.
But he's trying. He's in there.
Okay, trying. In the great words of Yoda, do or do not, there is no try.
Okay,
I've seen Yarncroke get goals in the slot in his few games back. I've never seen Robertson do it.
I'm saying that Robertson gets his shot off more than both of those guys combined. And that's what you need. But we're going to wait and see.
I didn't realize this was the shots on goal or shot attempt league. I thought this was
not shot attempt goal. I want guys that are going to put the puck towards the net, not be going around banging in the corner trying to dig it out and pass it back to the defenseman. I want the puck going right at the net. And if you watch the Montreal Canadiens, that's the only thing we do. We got guys, sometimes we shoot the puck too goddamn much. We're going to the other extreme now. Where Marty's going, just shoot the frickin' puck. Like we got 2 breakaways like on your metric.
Yeah.
You're going to lose possession. Well, we lost a couple of possessions just fucking firing the puck around. But we had sustained pressure. We didn't win. Look against Calgary game. Mm-hmm. We shot from everywhere. But that kid should be Rookie of the Year. That's the guy I was
Dustin
thinking of.
Wolf?
Yeah, he should be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. When it gets to the playoffs, because it's so congested in the middle, look at how Florida and Toronto played. Like Florida just says, we're not going to open it up. Great. Then Toronto says, no, we're not going to open it up either. We'll bang with you. I'm saying Berube, that's his, like, he don't get away from the norm. Sometimes I think he should just go, okay, guys, change the lines and fly for a minute. See what Florida does. Last year, Toronto would do that.
Seems like Florida going to eat you alive like that, though.
Sometimes you can get them and open up the lane. I didn't.
You can't get away with that in the playoffs. I think you need these guys playing playoff hockey right now.
Okay, then they kind of are. But I'm saying, you know what I mean? You got to break the game open sometimes. There's got to be that part in the game where you got to break it open. I don't know where it is.
That's a big risk.
I'm going to say, if you got guys that shoot the puck, you're going to take the chance. That's what's going to be the difference in the teams that win and teams that don't. And that's what Dallas can do. Dallas will just come in and open it up.
You know but the problem for Leafs in the past is that once they play that playoff, once we get to playoff time, they're not acclimated to that style of play. You need to get them there.
Okay, so Now
because they were playing too loosey-goosey in the regular season. Now this year it's been 82 games of playing that at least building to playing that final that the way you want them playing in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm getting that, but sometimes what I'm saying is that they don't have that spark sometimes that would get them over the top to win a game last year.
What spark?
I don't know what it is, but they'll open it up and try. They stay in their lanes, and that's great playoff hockey game. They lost a point to San Jose about that. They nearly lost to fucking Utah doing that. You got to go for it sometimes. And I'm noticing, the only reason Montreal's in the position they are, not that we're going anywhere, but we're going for it every game. San Jose against Toronto was going for it against you guys, and they're a last-place team. Well, what else did they have to lose? But you got to expect that coming. So now, what I'm getting back to losing against Florida is you guys are 4 games behind Florida. You got a game in hand. You play them 2 more times? Okay, so what do you want to do? You don't think winning the division is no big deal?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that you got to beat who's in front of you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with that. Okay.
Yeah.
However, would you want one of the Florida teams in the first round, or would you rather have?
Of course,
Columbus?
I'd rather have one of the wild card teams.
There you go. So you got to think about that now because you know it's going to happen.
Actually, I might still take Tampa, but
okay, because you got to get them. But okay, let's put it this way. I'm going to go on vacation. When Toronto loses in the first round of the playoffs this year, I'm getting out of this city. I'm going anywhere. I'm just getting a
Toronto's not losing in the first round.
I'm just saying, if Toronto loses, I've already got a ticket. Where are you going? Do you know that island out on the Bruce County?
Why? I thought you'd want to stay around and see the chaos. You're such a hater.
I don't. That's why I'm getting out of town. This town would be miserable. This will be the worst ever. If you guys lose in the first round this year, I don't want to be in town. I'll stay in my house. I'll lock the door. I'll walk around with Habs gear on. No, I won't. I'll get shot. But you know what I mean?
It's not going to happen this year.
Okay, I'm just glad. I'm just saying you've had so many opportunities to put yourself in a better position points-wise. Thank God you guys banked all those points earlier.
Okay, here's the thing, though. Everyone's putting a microscope on the Leaf. Every single team in the league is doing this right now. Okay. It's no time to panic. People just take a look around the league and fucking take a deep breath and chill.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
Okay. So I don't care. I don't care. I'm just watching. I hope I'm highly entertained.
You're pretty invested for someone that doesn't care.
Because I have this podcast called The House That Happens is Toronto Centric.
Yeah, then just say you care then. Don't lie.
I don't care. I really don't. I'm just saying.
Then stop talking about it.
We have to talk about the Leafs. You're just running away because you know I'm scaring you.
Well, no, you're taking over the conversation, though, for someone that doesn't care is my point.
People are listening out there about the Leafs. Okay, so
I'm not out of. I got a lot of stuff to bring up with the Leafs here, so
okay,
I'm not running.
Okay, let's keep going. What else are you going to say? Is Austin Matthews an issue? I say no.
No.
I don't say he's an issue either.
That's why I don't listen to Overdrive, because they keep banging home that drum. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I got to get away. I got to turn it off. I just turn it off when you say that, guys like that. And and some of the other panels are starting to point the finger too. Even your boy Elliot Friedman said, well, the other night. And I went, whoa, Elliot, slow down on that.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't bring up anything on the podcast.
Well, what they were doing, because I think he's smart not to do it, is he injured or not? So stop it. Just leave it alone. I think Austin Matthews has had the 3rd most shots on goal in the last 5 games around the league. Did anyone know that metric? So that means, what are you doing? You got chances. Shit's happening. Yeah. What did they say in the last, any player that played the last 5 games in the league, they're 3rd. I think Pasternak was 1. Or was it Draisaitl? One of those guys was number 1. I forget the other guy was number 2. It caught me off guard. It could have been Jason Robertson because he's been hot lately for Dallas. It was a guy like that was number 2. But Matthews was top 3 in shots and goal in the last 5 games. So, and, by the way, plus minus, he gets secondary assists. That means when he was on the ice, he was defensively responsible and sometimes just score goals. That's 3rd-line production. Shut the fuck up.
Isn't he point per game in the last 20 games?
That's what I just don't get it. That's one thing about this city. That's why I say if you guys lose, I'm getting out of town. There'll be crucifixion. Mertz Martin will be the first guy out of town. What do you think? If the Leafs
he's staying either way.
He's staying?
Yeah, I think so.
Big pregnant pa.
Why is that? I
don't know what's going on because I was so shocked when I heard Toronto went to Marner and said, you know what? That shot, I'm not even a fan. I just thought that didn't make sense because they're so in love with each other. Why would you even go in and mention the Rantanen? That blows my, don't you see from my point of view? Like, if I'm a diehard Leaf fan, I'm going, what the hell's going on here? Even though everybody wanted to run him out of town by this time last year, they were running him out of town. So I don't get what's going on here. To me, Mitch Marner's one of the top 5, definitely top 10 players in the league. You're just not going to go out and pick another guy like...
Top 5, top 10 player in the league?
Oh, easy top 10. Easy top 10. You name 10 guys better than Marner this year that are playing better than Marner. I'll give him... And the guys that necessarily got a few points more than him, I'm not counting them because I'm talking total game here. Like, come on. The guys just... And I hate to be bringing it
McDavid... Draisaitl.
Yeah. McKinnon,
Makar, Matthews.
Matthews is not having a better season.
He's a better player than him overall, though.
Okay, so then that's... Who else is going to give me? Jack Hughes?
Rantanen?
No, not Rantanen, no. Pasternak, he's just as good as...
Kucherov?
Just as good as now.
Now you're saying just as good.
Well, we're talking about where we are right now as we're speaking here. Mitch Marner, you don't pick that guy off a tree. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. But okay, same for Rantanen, though. So it's... I don't know. I'm
going to wait. The jury's going to be out on Rantanen because this motherfucker's been spoiled. If I was playing on the line with McKinnon, I'd score 20 goals and I can't skate.
Oh, I hate that talk. No, you wouldn't.
Oh, come on. He's a good scorer. It's a
great scorer.
Okay, he's a great scorer, but let's go to see.
I hate when people undermine that. Oh, like I could win the gold medal if I was head coach of Team Canada. No, you couldn't, you dumb fuck.
I'm not saying that, but it shows around the league. Sometimes go to other teams and they don't miss a beat. Sometimes they go to another team and it's not the same. You know what I mean? We've seen that a million times over the league. Let's see where Rantanen...
I just think Rantanen wasn't a fit for Carolina. He didn't fit the system.
No, I agree with that 100%. I've seen him play a couple times. It was like the way they play. They play 2 boxed in or whatever you call it.
And they really want their wingers to go in and like aggressive forecheck, and that's not his game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't get to go to those open spots, which he will be able to get to in Dallas.
Oh, for sure. They're more a style.
Yeah, so they're going to be there. But I would rather have Marner than that. My take on this is that... I'm wanting Toronto to go. Like, I predicted them to go to the conference finals, remember? I'm the guy that said they'd go to the conference finals. I'm a little leery about that now.
You're so full of shit.
Go check the season.
No. That you want it to happen, you're full of shit.
Why?
Because you're smiling right now.
No, I want
you can't even say it with a straight face.
I do. Come on.
He's so disingenuous.
Toronto, let's get to the conference finals. Anything else for you guys is going to be a failure.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And
I'm worried we're going to lose round 2 to Florida, though, again.
I think you guys... What if you play Florida in the first round? I don't think
Florida's going to win the division.
Now. No, you got a chance to. You got a chance to come back.
Unless we beat Florida those last two games, which is possible, I guess.
But here's the funny thing.
Because I guess no Ekblad, no Kachuk, no... Marchand, right?
Yes, think about that factor too. But here's what I've noticed, okay? The 2 teams that I just go, okay, is Vegas and Florida. They lose a couple of games, and everyone says, what's wrong with those teams? And then the next 5 games, they beat the shit out of everybody. So they're the, what would you call it? Well, they're the last 2 Stanley Cup champions, but they are like the template for how you want to build a team, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So... I don't know. Like, I thought that was a huge loss for Toronto the other night in their house. I thought it was like almost a must win for you guys because you would have been tied for the top and you would have had a game in hand. You know what I mean? And I think it makes a difference. If you just think you're going to sweep your way through it, great. I love that optimism for all you Leaf fans that thinks you're going to.
Why are you putting words in my mouth today? What is this?
Well, you said they're going to win 2 rounds.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you said you're going to win the first round.
I said we're going to win the first round. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toronto's not losing in the first round.
Okay, so now it's going to be...
So the Leafs, you want to talk about that Western road trip?
Yep.
Obviously very disappointing. Losing Vegas, that one just like...
That's a scheduled loss.
I hate that term.
I know it is, but it's true. Look, they had the back-to-backs. They're coming off long travel, short game, bang, they're there. Vegas is sitting at home for 2 nights. Waiting for him. Oh, it's Toronto coming to town, and people wait for Toronto. Come on, you know,
I know
wait
that.
for Toronto. So that they got bushwhacked. The Colorado game was just a great hockey game. They puked up.
Yeah, just a tough penalty at the end by Marner. I'm not even going to blame him for that. It was just a bad break.
Oh, 100% it was. It wasn't one of those ones where you got a call. It didn't really seem to be an infraction, but it was.
Well, it's just one of those things where, like, you lose the puck and then, like, he didn't mean to take down. A penalty's a penalty.
A penalty's a penalty.
But it was just all one, like, it's like, almost like instinct where he's doing, right? So
and then shit happened. Okay. Yeah. So that's another thing about the Leafs then. Like, what we're talking about. What was the difference in the Florida game?
What was the difference in the Florida game? Just a couple goals.
and a couple goals was the difference. And, oh, by the way, where did they get those goals?
Power play.
What did the Leafs do on the power play? That's the difference. They got to tighten that up. Like, look at that game.
The power play hasn't been that bad lately, though.
But in a situation like that, look at Florida capitalized. They did. And what's that about the playoffs? Special teams is huge. That's another factor you're going to have to start thinking about. Is a 5-man forward good? Are they going to switch some things
I
up?
have my doubts about that.
Oh, then you better call Ruby and say about that, because that was a difference in the game. There's 2 power plays. Basically, you think 60-minute game came down to 2 power plays. That's the so that means
Bennett scored twice.
What? And Bennett scored twice, and once he was left alone open. You know, it was a mistake. Guy went the other way. You make a choice. You got a nanosecond. He made the wrong move. That can happen to anybody in the league. But it was Bennett. Wasn't Reinhardt. It wasn't Barkov. It wasn't, what's his name? Mikola or whatever that other guy is.
Mikola.
Yeah, he's in there shooting the puck too. But it was Bennett. And then, like I said, Bennett's a shoe-in for the Olympic team. Toronto should go after him. He's a free agent in June, isn't he?
I don't think they'll be able to afford him under the cap.
Kick some other guys off.
We'll see. If he even wants to come to Toronto.
Well, I think there's a possibility. But in any event, let's get back to the weekend.
Yeah, there's also that insane Benoit Superman punch in the fight.
I love that.
It shouldn't be illegal. Or it shouldn't be legal, I should say.
Why?
Blades in the air, humans, that's an
Blades
accident.
Blades are in the air all the time.
Yeah, but this is one you could just immediately say, like, no. That's an accident waiting to happen. That's an accident waiting to happen.
Whispers around the league is a couple other guys are thinking about trying it.
I bet. and that's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm saying it should be banned.
I loved when you sent the thing from. It reminded me of my son, bless his soul, when we used to play Finish 'Em.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. When you did the thing with Mortal Kombat, that was just the best. I thought it was great. I rewound it, and I'm not a fight guy. I did rewind it about 3 or 4 times to see how he got in the air like that. That was such a great move.
Hey, I like that we have a psycho like Benoit on our team.
You need that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know what? Yeah, you have a guy like that, but what you guys have done, which is really important for the playoffs, is no one's pushing Tanev around.
No
one's pushing McCabe around. No one's pushing Carlo around.
Ekman Larson, same deal.
No one's pushing Ekman Larson around. You know what I mean? And, so you got 5 guys back there like that right now, all under contract. I say even when you lose in the first round this year, that you guys will all be back next year to do it again.
And you wanted the Leafs to win despite that smile on your face.
Listen, I hope they do win. Come on, I really do. I'm not that much of an ogre. I'm just getting concerned about.
I'm starting to hope that Montreal loses just to shut you up.
Well, that's what's going to happen. But I'm not. I don't have the. I'm not. I wasn't a preseason Stanley Cup favorite. We were supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league.
You were saying playoffs, though.
I was saying that we want to play meaningful games in April, and we are playing meaningful games in March, and we are playing meaningful games in March, so I'm very happy with that progress. I cannot complain. I've seen lots of good things on our team. I still think we need another defenseman, but we're going to have to see what's going to happen when the offseason comes, but that's another story.
You guys need 2 more defensemen.
At least. Aberjacki could get better, but if he's our 6th defenseman forever, I can live with that.
I don't know if he's ever going to be a top 4 guy.
I don't think he is either, but if he's a good 6 guy, because you know what? He clears in front of the net, and he's got a good pass, and he knows when to shoot the puck.
He's a bit of a psycho.
And he's a bit of a psycho, so we'll take all of that. That's everybody needs that on the team. You know what I'm saying? The tough thing about Toronto, though, is the Utah game.
I mean, we pulled out the 2 points.
But that's Utah.
3-goal lead, worst lead in hockey.
Oh, doesn't matter. So you can
argue that wasn't the greatest time for that Benoit fight. That kind of allowed Utah to come back in that game.
There was a little bit of weirdness goes on. That's just a momentum. But you guys had San Jose and Utah in the last week.
Utah's fighting for a playoff spot. I think it's more the San Jose one that hurts more.
Yeah, but still, that's 4 points you expected to have. You got 1.
3.
I mean, you got 3, yeah.
3 out of the 4 points.
Oh, yeah.
Because we lost in the shootout to San
lost
Jose.
the shootout. Yeah, shouldn't have been there. But that was just for Celebrini to show off the fact that he is Rookie of the Year.
I know. Apparently, Hudson's the favorite.
I'm a Hab guy. If I had to vote right now, who do you think I'm voting for? And I'm a Hab guy.
Okay.
There's no doubt. Oh, come on. Celebrini, he's playing for the Olympic team. That guy's too fucking good.
Let the record show that Cruz is shitting on the Hab guy.
No, I'm being a realist. Hudson's been very, very good. His plus minus.
I love how when I'm being objective, I'm being, being too much, but when you do it, you're being a realist.
I am being a realist. You know what I mean? I just think that you're caught up in the moment because you have some fears about the Leafs, but you're not going to show them, which is good. Okay, that's what Reacher says. Don't show your fear, okay? Because you guys are in trouble. I don't give a shit what you said. There's something about your team that's a little weird.
We're in trouble?
Not in trouble, but I mean... like
best goaltending we've ever had in the Matthews era? Best defense we've ever had in the Matthews era?
Okay, but here's the deal. These guys got to show it in the playoffs. That's another factor you got to show because a couple games... Stolarz is going to be your number one.
Agreed.
Okay, he's going to
be... And even if he goes down, knock on wood, we still got Wall.
So Wall is going to be good. Wall's had a couple shaky outings, but then every goalie has a couple shaky outings. And every goalie that's in a weird goal. Ask Binnington in the Four Nations. You still just be there when we need you. That's what I was going to say about that. Hence the reason when I was telling you when I called you up about Dostal the other night. 6 goals he let in. Should have been 15, but he stopped the other 8. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the dream I had about this time last year?
No.
Or maybe it was a little bit later. The Leafs won the Stanley Cup, and who was Conn Smythe?
I forget. Well?
Marner.
Oh, yeah, Marner. That's right. So you should be happy
I think he's going to have a big playoffs.
I do, too. And you know what? He hasn't been totally a flop in the playoffs.
Last couple of years, it's been a little disappointing, but when he did not have that reputation at all when his career started. So I'm optimistic with the that little bit of a confidence boost from Team Canada. You can get right back there.
Well, I think he's kept his head up more now when guys are head hunting him. Because remember in the Florida series, he started ducking because guys were just taking runs at him. So he got off his game. I think notice this year when he didn't get lost in the game the other night against Florida. He came fighting back.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's a big difference. Like he looked like he was ducking a bit. I don't see him ducking at all this year.
No.
Which could make a big difference. What else you got for the Leafs for us before we...
That's it for Leafs. The only other hockey thing I had was Vancouver-Calgary.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a dog
battle for that last playoff spot.
Okay, since we got 20 games left in the season, I just wanted to yell out some of the things.
17
left. And I think that things that are going to be pretty well we should start establishing is it looks like there's only Draisaitl and McKinnon for the Hart.
It's going to be Draisaitl.
I think it might be too. Because then, which I don't like, because maybe it should be McKinnon, but it's Draisaitl's turn to win one.
Draisaitl, he's going to be the only 50-goal scorer this year.
McKinnon
leads the league in game-winning goals.
Okay,
second in face-off percentage. He might pass McKinnon for the Art Ross too. He's only 2 points behind.
Well, that'll make a difference. But you see,
but come on, he's got a 13-goal lead over Nylander.
Okay, well, we'll give him the benefit.
Nylander's second. He's 13 back.
It's going to be one of the two. It's to see how they end the season. The Norris Trophy, I'm still saying it's going to be Werenski because the snowball started rolling and it wouldn't stop. However, if Columbus misses the playoffs, I take them out of that conversation.
That has no part in that conversation, though.
It should be where you.
It's not, though. It's most outstanding defenseman. It has nothing to do with how valuable you are to your team.
Then I think that Makar is the most outstanding defenseman because every time I see him play every game, he's just outstanding. Who would you rather have, Werenski or?
That's not the question, though.
Okay, so I'm saying that if I had a vote right now, I'd probably vote for Makar.
Okay.
The Calder, I just told you, Celebrini. That would be for me. Hellebuck is going to win the Vezina. There's not even a question about that. No one's even going to talk about it because he's God. Anyone that makes more saves than him is Jesus, apparently, I guess. The Selke, I don't know about this Selke. You know what I mean? I like, we're going to give it to Barkov again?
Probably not this year.
So who's going to get it?
I'd have to do a deeper look into that one.
Then Marner should be on
Marner's going to be
bench page.
Yeah.
Pierre-Luc Dubois
yeah.
should be right up there, too.
Aho maybe on Carolina.
Aho's okay, but no. What's the guy on Dallas?
Rupee Hintz.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's another guy. That's what I'm saying. So you got to look at it. Like, I hate it when you just get it because you got it on reputation. Like, what did you do this year? Ruby Hines is having a great year.
Yep.
Great two-way year. You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if he won it.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but I think Marner might get a shot at it this year. I don't think he's got the hype that he did last year.
Who?
Marner had more hype for the Selke last year.
No, Matthews had all the hype last year.
Matthews,
for Selke, yeah. Marner's getting more hype this year.
Well, I think he should have a shot, and I don't see anything that Barkov's doing any more Selke-ish than Marner. I don't see any real difference, but we're going to wait and see.
Ready to get to our picks?
Yes, let's go.
All right, so first up, Vegas at Buffalo. I'm going to take the Golden Knights.
Oh, come on. If you took anything else, you're nuts. Now watch Buffalo win because that's just one of those anomalies of sports. But you got to take them. Come on.
New Jersey at Pittsburgh. I'm going to choose the Penguins to win at home. They're on a little bit of a heater.
Yes, it is, and New Jersey's confused.
Washington at San Jose. I'm going to take Washington on the road.
I'm going to take San Jose for the Saturday night late upset. Oh, it's at 5 o'clock.
It's a matinee in San Jose.
Oh, that's a whole different ball game. Okay, I'll take Washington. I thought it was a late night game to travel and shit.
It wouldn't matter.
Okay.
Next up, Tampa Bay at Boston. I'm going to take Tampa Bay to steal it on the road.
I'm taking Tampa Bay too.
They'll get out of that little slump they're in right now. Ottawa at Toronto. Toronto's going to win this one at home.
Yes, they have to win. I'm going to take that. Florida at Montreal. Montreal for the upset.
I'm going to take Montreal too.
Saturday night might get it.
Carolina at Philly. I'm going to take Carolina.
I'm taking Philly for the upset on Saturday night.
Okay.
In Philly. I like that game.
New York Rangers at Columbus. I'm going to choose the Blue Jackets to defend home ice.
They have to. Absolutely have to. It looks like it's a home night. Bad home games tonight. Yeah, I'm taking Columbus too.
St. Louis at Minnesota. I'm going to choose St. Louis on the road.
Really?
Yep.
I'm taking Minnie at home.
They've been hot lately, St. Louis. Nashville at LA. Kings all day.
Yep.
And Chicago at Vancouver. I'm going to choose Vancouver to defend home ice.
No doubt about it. Those are all pretty easy picks when you come to think about it.
Well, we'll see how. It always looks easy
until
at
we
first.
see the scores, and then we get our asses kicked.
All right. That'll take us to our ending of the show.
Mm-hmm. What do you got for us this week, Steven?
Let me open that up. Trivia once again provided by Mr. Stephen Milani.
Great, by the way.
It's a Formula One themed question.
Ooh.
The F1 season is set to begin this Sunday in Melbourne for the first time since 2019. How many times has Melbourne hosted the opening race of the F1 season, this year included?
7.
No more. Does it start being the opener?
11.
I'm going to say like 20.
What? That many?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to say 23.
Okay.
How many for you?
I'm not even close. I'll go with 15. I didn't even think it was that many.
The answer, 25.
Wow. And it's probably going to stay that way forever, right? Why would they change it?
Well, it was what was it last year? Bahrain, right?
Was that the first race last year?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah. That's because of what reason, though? There was a reason why they went there.
Money.
Yeah. But I heard Australia's in line for the next 6 years, aren't they, to open the season? Basically.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Something like that. They were talking about it. You're right. Because they were number 1 2 years ago, weren't they?
2019 was the last time they were the opening race.
They should be at every year.
That'll just about do it for us this week. Cruz, what game are you looking forward to most this week? Is it one of those college basketball conference championships?
I'll be looking for the games of the day right now. The 2 SEC championship games that are happening this afternoon.
The semis,
care. Yeah, I don't care about what's going on tomorrow because it's going to be the aftermath. But this is going to be huge on the seeding, so I'm really looking forward to these 2 games this afternoon. I'm also looking forward to. I think OKC plays Cleveland again, or one of the Eastern Division teams. Let me get it right here. I should have it here. Should be very, very interesting. In the NHL, it's all going to be every game matters now.
Yeah, Toronto-Ottawa is my game of the week.
Every game matters from now on in, and especially with the confusion at the bottom, at the amount of teams that are fighting for the spot in the Eastern Conference. I don't think the Western Conference it's any big deal.
No.
You know, I think it's just going to ride itself out. So Monday, let me just see here. Take a quick look, and it tells me, no, I guess it wasn't. It's not this week. Maybe it's going on. No. I thought they played Memphis and OKC play again, but they don't. But there's going to be a lot of interesting games in the NBA just because of the jockeying of positions. And let's hope everybody stays healthy and there's no load management and we can get basketball on the trajectory that we wanted, because that's all it's going to take is for one great final, as I've been saying all year, and everyone's going to forget about all the bullshit that the NBA sold us all year.
Basically what happened last year.
There you go.
We'll thank you for listening for us once again this week. We appreciate you. Give us a like, give us a comment. We love you.
We got Stanley here. He's going to say goodbye. Looking forward to taking our good friend Kramer out, who hasn't been for a while. We're going down to Massey Hall to see the Hendrix Experience, which is a variety of great guitar players coming on, giving us their Hendrix take. I've seen it about 8 or 9 years ago. I haven't seen it since, but I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, that'll take us to the end of the show. I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name is Cruz, and what do?
We keep the vibe alive. You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.